right. Well, check. It is a Monday, and oh, I always will what? No idea why it's doing that. Okay, sound. All right. You know, when you get if you ever get a iPad or a tablet, never get nothing but an iPad, an Apple. I've got two Samsungs. They gave me one. I've got this Sprint, and they move like turtles. All of them. They're horrible. Um, anyway, so that's basically that. Let's see. What can we talk about today? Well, I had a little tragedy that just happened a couple hours ago in the family, and I haven't posted it yet because luckily I don't think certain relatives know yet on one side of my family, and I mean I'm sure they know. I'm just not gonna post it, but a cousin of mine just passed away a few hours ago, and and then of course, stuff going on, all the good stuff for 2020. There's been some good news, there's been some bad news, depending on how we look at it. Dawn and I weren't going to go on because we figured most people are going to watch what's on there and are pretty upset and stressed out. And even though things have kind of amplified over the last several hours, what am I looking? Oh, I'm looking up here. I put a new camera up, and it's not the one that's built into my monitor. It's actually more high definition. My daughter got it for me couple weeks ago, and I've just been kind of lazy. And then I saw it blown up the other night after we did a broadcast. Even though it's a weirder angle, um, I think it's cleaner. So hopefully that's what it is. And can you hear me okay? Give me a thumbs up, Don, if you can hear me okay. Good. Okay, good. Make sure I sound all right. All right, I can see her in the green room. So anyway, before I bring her on, and she looks really nice tonight, we're not going to play any music tonight. We're not. So if you don't want, if whatever, I don't think we are. I played the beginning because that was a Doobie Brothers song, and if you listen to the lyrics, it's pretty meaningful, and it's not a very complex set of lyrics, but it was called "Taking It to the Streets," and it was basically kind of a well, download the lyrics, and I thought because of everything that's happening, it's the lyrics and the title of the song from the Doobie Brothers album was pretty relevant to what's going on out there, which is what we were going to talk about. And we realized that sometimes we play the music, but we also noticed that when we have guests on, which was one of the things that we were trying to migrate to, um, seemed to have a lot more impact. And I know this comes off as a contradictory thing because some people will, well, you don't care how many viewers you have or how many people follow you, but you do when you have a message, especially when you have so many things going on in the world. And I was part of something pretty significant with a friend of mine who's also an associate partner of mine that has made all the news the last couple days. And I'm going to get into that with Donna. Um, and you guys can make comments if you want, if you want to stay on or not. I said, listen, why don't we just have a conversation between you and I? And even if it's just you and I on here, we served its purpose. And because when we used to do this radio show on danceparty.com, a website I still own, but has been kind of inactive for a while, we never really could see because we were sitting right across from each other. We could hear and we could record while we were um, broadcasting live worldwide, but we never actually could see who was watching us or who are listening to us or anything like that. And it really didn't matter. And we just kept going on and on and on. We thought, we'd talk for 20 minutes and then run out of stuff to say. And we never ran out of things to say for 2 hours. So before I bring her on, I got to give you kind of a disclaimer so it's not such a bummer. Because a lot of people that have followed me, know that I've been through a lot of stuff. And today is the 9-month anniversary today, because it was like a 3 or 4 day sequence. And then of course my cousin just that's knocking the wind out of a lot of us because it wasn't like some guy that we kind of knew. We know him really well, and that's still fresh. And of course what's going on in all the cities, and of course the decision the president made and the governor made today, the governor of Michigan and the president of the United States. So because most of the people that are local that follow us, you may have an opinion about it. And I know that we've all been pretty profane. I mean, I don't care if people swear, but I don't want it to be um, fog machines on autopilot here. But I don't want it to be anything super negative, and we never really do. Um, but you may hear us getting into it, Donna and I, and whoever may be participating. It's like you're going to eavesdrop on a conversation at the very least, if that's all that we get for a little while, because it's our way, so to speak. It's kind of therapeutic for us to have a conversation while all the news channels, all your forums, your Instagram, your Facebook, whatever, um, are going to be basically giving you a play by play. And well, without further ado, let me bring her on. Are you ready, Donna? Give me a thumbs up if you're ready. Thumbs up. All right, thumbs up. Here you go. There you are.
Hi.
Hi. Do you want to do it like this, or do you like it bigger?
I don't care.
Let's leave it like that for a minute, and then we can always go. We can play around with it. All right.
Uh,
So can you hear me all right? Because we're trying. I've got the new microphone ordered, and I saw somebody using the exact one I had, and so in the meantime, I know these are really good microphones, so we're going to kind of do it like that. But it's been real difficult because I every day I get these messages. Somebody just messaged me just now. You like that better? You like that better? Well, it shows my better side. I know I'm going to go all over the place. Hey, Tina. Hey, Keith. Hey, everybody.
hi.
I've been cutting my hair by myself for the last 3 months, and I've never done that before. So if my hair looks kind of weird or shaped weird, or that's kind of what it is. And I didn't do anything today because I don't really care. But last night when I drove up to Flint, Michigan, and I passed an exit about 30 miles north of here, which was it was like just a little bit more than halfway to Flint. I knew that's where my son, which I can't discuss everything right now about it for a lot of reasons, but I passed it, and I always pass that Jesus sign, or are you on the right road? And I look at it and I go, man, and then I'm going up there and I'm getting text and messages, and don't go, or are you going up to Flint, man, it's dangerous, or this or that, blah blah blah. And what I do is I just click it off like a robocall, because I don't want, I'm a grown man. All right, I've done a lot of dangerous things. I've worked in inner cities, New York, Chicago, all over Detroit. And so that was before we had cell phones, and that's when I was much younger, right? But I get it. The temperature of the room right now is very hot, and at the same time it's very cold, and I don't feel like I'm living in the United States of America anymore. I really don't. And maybe somebody might look at that as, oh man, you must be a communist, or you must be this. I go, no, I just don't feel weird. It's like when I used to work at an inner city club in Detroit, and I'll get back to Flint. For about 2 years, I would drive downtown to, where they back where where they're protesting, right next to St. Andrews. And I could see in the background, I could see the Renaissance Center, which they always show as the Detroit icon in sporting events and whatnot. Or when you go to the airport, you always see the General, it's called the General Motors or Marriott now. But I remember driving there, and I remember being rerouted for like 6 months. I had to go to 94 to get to 75. You have to go to Congress, because they're always doing construction, aren't they? I mean, and they're never not, never not,
Yeah.
never not. And I go, okay, that's off the beaten path. A couple service drives, couple this, couple that. It's like, okay, you get used to it after a couple of weeks, right? Right.
Yeah.
And then the wintertime comes and it makes it worse because some of those roads are really icy or this and that. So you have to adapt. So we're used to adapting to things, right? We're used to adapting to things.
Yeah, but it still pisses us off every year.
Yeah, right. but is this really adapting to things? I get it that we're all being very vehement and vociferous, 2 V words, where that's from my old catalog. But towards life, towards politicians, towards media, the social media, whatever, I see people getting angry and brave. And I said before, and this pisses people off, probably not that it matters, but it's just the truth. I mean, if any one person that ever watches us or anywhere out there can change something that somebody else can't undo, then you compile what nobody really wants to hear about, like your situation, my situation. There's time for sympathy, there's time for compassion. For me, it's like I don't count the days. Like today was 9 months. I just knew it was on the 31st that night first. So when I see the 31st at the end of the month, plus it was a holiday weekend, it's an automatic, right? But what made it even more intensified was, okay, and we've had this discussion, so we're kind of recapping, but going to the next phase now, because today's really heavy with conversation pieces that whatever you're probably looking at on your news channel. If you see something, because I had this and for some reason it's not charging, but I don't know why. So when the virus hit, we all got locked down. And then about starting 4 weeks ago, everyone got yancy. And then there became this dichotomy, if you will, of who's weak, who's strong, who deserves to live, who deserves not to live, right? Okay, now it's kind of morphed. What really threw the game, I think, is this thing, because everybody's outside at all these major cities, sweating, screaming, yelling. Half people got their mask on, half off. So and I don't know if they, you can, forget the political divide, because it's usually that one group doesn't want it, one group is, against it, four against, whatever. But now it's like, okay, who's there? Down in Troy, they had several hundred young people, and they even blocked off the roads. And downtown Detroit, I know there was a curfew. Was it 8 o'clock? They're still down there. Philadelphia, Minneapolis, and these are cities I never thought, when you hear like something Maryland, it's like Maryland, or Reno, Nevada, or Salt Lake City. I've been to some of those cities.
What was that other one? Eugene something?
Yeah, like
Oregon.
Really? And I'm not being, again, I'm a minority. I was born in Detroit, and I lived all over. I can't even tell you how many places, because my parents were young. And my mom will fact check me later. Well, really, you lived in a castle, and and Rapunzel was whatever. I don't know. But, I didn't know. But I do know I was born in my birth certificate says Detroit, Michigan. Okay, but what I'm saying is I don't remember that like I know that we have a large Arab culture in Dearborn that's expanded out to the suburbs in Troy, and 30 years ago I didn't see it as prevalent. Okay, so that's been kind of what's there's certain groups of people that have they don't live in certain cities or states, like Ohio doesn't have that. But when I see different cultures, and I'm not being naive, but it's like, wow, so I don't think of them as, you don't hear of those cities like their crime rate is, they're like, to me they're like Windsor. They get like one murder a year, I think, right? Because Windsor's a stone throw from your club. You can probably see it from the rooftop.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, because it's the Detroit River. It's what is it, a half mile wide, right? So you don't hear like, wow, them crazy Canadians are at it again. You know what I mean? Wow, look at, you don't see no looting over there. They're going crazy in the United Kingdom, but you don't hear Montreal, Quebec, Toronto, Windsor.
Well, I think I heard something about Toronto.
Oh, okay. Well, I stand corrected, because I didn't. That's a new one. I'm waiting for Sydney, Australia to jump on board or somewhere.
They had a list. The other day, I think I looked up the other day. There are different countries having protests outside the U.S. embassies. Right,
but they are native of that country.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, there ain't tourists over there. So, and I hear them screaming all kinds of mantras like "I can't breathe" is the number one. I can't breathe, right? So now we've got this radical divide. I made a joke the other day about space wars versus race wars. And what's funny is I sent a couple of people pictures that I cropped it because I read the book about 30 years ago. It's called Helter Skelter. They made a movie on it. The Beatles had an album called Helter Skelter. Well, actually, it was a White Album, and the White Album had a song called Helter Skelter. And there was, and and I'm being careful when I say this, there was an infamous individual that lived out in California that hung out. He wanted to be a musician. He hung out with Dennis, um, uh, Brian, God, what's his name? The Beach
Guy
Boys.
from the Beach Boys,
Yeah,
Brian Wilson.
Brian Wilson. Thank you. Well, it was Dennis Wilson. And he
Oh.
lived in Doris Day's house, Terry Felcher, and all this. And, well, he wanted to start a race war. And that's why he created Helter Skelter. And he wanted to blame it, on the African American culture. And, that would start a war. And he had this mindset, Charles Manson. He had this mindset that if he created this race war with all these rich people and powerful people, because he knew that it would create more fear than just a normal, regular citizen, just some regular middle class citizen. He wanted to make it, pretty big, right? Well, because he had a whole list of celebrities, and it was pretty graphic. Like Tom Jones, they wanted to skin him alive and cut off his, genitals. That was that was just one example. I mean, and blame it. And they create that race war. And he said that he would be the one that would help lead them and take over. That was, I mean, you gotta remember, the guy was insane. And I thought, God, that was back 30 years ago. I read the book 30 years ago, and it happened in the late 60s. And then he just, of course, died. And, you talk about these horrific things, but then you see 30 years later, even with all the advent of technology and science and getting my iPads to work and things like that, and us talking remotely versus 7-8 years ago, when we had access to several computers custom built and things like that, but we still had to meet each other in the same physical space.
Yeah.
And now that I had to, I still had to drive 50 miles yesterday to go and meet my friend. I got there. I parked up the street. I didn't really know where to park. I'm thinking, and I'm thinking, okay, they're going to, can something happen to my car? Right. And I have stuff with Dante, and I'm hoping maybe they see it and go, well, like the license plate, whatever. And then the pictures, I mean, it's kind of a different kind of car. It's a truck, but so I decided, okay, I waited a few minutes. I texted, and I knew he was pretty busy. So I decided to walk towards the police station, which was right at the intersection where everybody was at, on Four Corners. And about not even a half mile off the exit of, 475, which veers off of 75. So I go there and I see all these kids, and somebody who's like had a DJ speaker pretty, nicely loud. And he's playing some pop, like Heal the World from Michael Jackson. And I'm thinking I was going to record now, because I knew that if I recorded, I even said, they're probably going to edit my, block my live feed. Right. But I saw these people, and, you see it like you see all these other ones. They start off nice, very harmonious, and very, altruistic. We're all, getting together and having this nice moment for a while. And then somebody comes and messes it up. And yeah. I know my buddy's pretty confident, and he's very good at a lot of things. But I'm thinking, okay, what if this is the night that he isn't lucky? Could he strike gold twice? Think about it. They're hoping that these things are receding and they're actually growing legs 4 or 5 nights later, as you're probably watching, right? Are those crowds less than 50? Probably not. And I can't see it because I don't know why it hasn't charged up, but, well, it is actually charging. Someone's turn it on while we're doing this because it takes a minute. But, it was funny because it was such a unique experience. It wasn't the fear of my car or me getting, pelted with a rock or these things that they're talking about. And then, of course, I heard the groups that were supposed to have things to, project and all that. Or was there going to be tear gas or, because I had a mask in my car, but I'm not going to walk out there with it. You know what I mean? It doesn't look good. And here I'm one of the older guys, because there was a lot of young people. It was mostly young people. And it was this little girl. She probably was about 13 years old, I would say. She couldn't have been more than 14. And she was like, yelling, Black Lives Matter, my life matters. And then somebody on their phone, and I'm watching her. I'm probably 6 feet from her at the most, because I'm social distancing. And I'm sitting there watching it, taking it all in. And people that were passing me kind of were looking at me like, I think we can rob him. No, I'm kidding. But they were looking at me like, like, who is this guy? Because I had my hoodie on with the big fire, it's got the giant Maltese cross with the fire logo on it. And then on the front, it has the American flag, and it says courage on it and all that stuff. And I had my Troy, because I used to be a former firefighter, which a friend of mine questioned today. Did you tell them that you were, former firefighter? And I said, well, I have a beard. And my buddy Keith can tell you because he's the one who trained me. He's my lieutenant. And I, so yeah, I said, yeah, because, my buddy he knows me. And he goes, yeah, I want you to, could you come up and, I know if if it goes crazy, you can handle the whole entire crowd by yourself. No, he didn't say that. No, but that wasn't why, because he knew that he had a rapport. He's a motivational speaker. He's very positive in his head. And he knew that. And, again, there is no way to, predict human nature at that level and that amount of people. So, and I'm thinking, okay, if this goes wrong, I didn't even tell myself what I normally do. Where can I retreat? Where can I hide? Where's a weapon I can, I didn't even do that. I said, whatever happens, happens. Guards down. I'm talking to my son in my head. I'm like, buddy, I don't know if you can hear me. Here I go, blah, blah, blah. But I watched all these people. And I even saw cars like these, custom SUV cars, the ones that with the rims and the, aftermarket. And I thought to myself, okay, I'm pretty good at spotting people and things. And I go, okay, these are the guys, whatever you want to label, Antifa or whatever, pick a label that somebody's coming up with. And I said, these are the guys that can make this thing go south really bad. But the way my buddy did it, because I was like, oh, how's he going to start this thing? Does he come out and go, okay, guys, whatever? All of a sudden, the cop cars came out of nowhere and they formed a circle inside of the intersection. Like it wasn't anything choreographed, like, it didn't look like a water ballet, but it just all happened at once with the lights and sirens real quick, for like, 5 seconds. And then all of a sudden his car came in, his cruiser comes in from, the north side. And all of a sudden, I hear all this screaming, like girls screaming and things. I'm like, oh, what happened? You know what I mean? Because I'm like about a good 50, plus feet away, maybe more. And I see everybody running and converging into the area. And he gets out like Jesus. You know what I mean? They're like, oh, it's him. Like they were like, you know what I'm saying? It was really, really bizarre. So I started walking, not fast, but good pace, because like they're walking this way, and I started walking towards that same direction, like kind of in a V towards them. And he sees me as soon as I got in front of the one car, and we fist bumped, and and I knew he was like, pretty in tune with whatever. And he's trying to coordinate everybody and rally everybody together. No fear, none. And there was a lot of people, and this thing just kept growing and growing. It was like, first it was like 200 or 300 people. And then next thing you know, by the time we got about another 200 feet, I'm like, it doubled in size. It was crazy. I was like, where did these people come from? I was looking up, I was looking all around. I was like, this is crazy. And it was so many people. And he came and he had his one other sheriff guy. There's a couple guys. One was a white guy and one was, a black gentleman. And they're both, the black gentleman, very, very, he was very tall. Well, they wanted to get in. He said his piece, Chris Swanson, and I'm just filming it with my camera live, whatever I can get. And I don't even know the angle because the sun was hitting me right in the face. And then all of a sudden he asked somebody to talk, and then he kind of backed, he got kind of shy. And it was really weird because then he walks towards me and then he turns around right next to me. I can feel him like pressed up against me. And we both got, he got everybody down to pray. I'm like, that was crazy too. It was like all of a sudden everybody just got down. Like, they do like a dance, and they go shout, lower, low, you know what I mean? Or whatever. They get down on the ground. There's like those three people that just remain standing because they don't want to, they don't know what's going on. Nope. Everybody got down. I was like, I could see all the way down the street. And it was like everybody was almost laying on the ground. They weren't laying, they were just on it. They were on their knee, one knee. And I put, for some reason, I had my mask in my hand and I put my hand on his shoulder. And as soon as I did that, he goes, everyone put your hand on his shoulder. It's in the video, you can see it. And, I felt kind of cool when he did that. But it really wasn't that. It was just because, him and I have that kind of energy. Like you and I have a particular synergy,
Yeah.
And then this girl, this African-American girl, I'll call her that, because I don't know if black or African-American, you know what I'm saying. She puts her hand on his shoulder, like about 3 or 4 inches from my hand. And she put her head on his shoulder and he's a muscle bound guy, this guy, Chris, he's shredded, right? I mean, he's rock solid. And she like put her head, and I was like, that is what we need. That is what we need. He wasn't just a father figure. He was a figure of like, it's like touching, it's like petting a shark or you know what I mean? Or petting a lion. Do you understand the analogy? Like, what are the odds that they can sit there on a sunny day in the middle of all this horrible crap, regardless of what you believe? And here she's touching this white cop in the middle of a big popular, when I say popular, it isn't like they have made movies on Flint. Okay. They have. It's and it's been in all the news when the water crisis, it's been, Flint's not no joke. It's the biggest city north of us. And the look in her eyes and everybody else, it was like they wanted pictures with the guy. And then we got up after that and we started walking, and then they kept walking straight. And then we had to bring them all back because it kind of broke in half. And then the people came, and then more people came. I'm like, what? So I'm filming it. We're walking for like a mile around the thing. And then, and I had a bad knee. It wasn't hurting, but I kind of stopped as soon as we got back to the police station because they kept going. And it was like they were having a good time. It wasn't like a funeral procession. It was like they were living the moment. And he said, we made history last night and we made it again today. And I thought, okay, what time was that? Like 8:00, right before 8:00. And I'm thinking, okay, be careful what you wish for, because the freaks come out at night, right? Just like these other ones. Like right now, nothing's happening. When is everything?
Yeah, that's what the news is saying. Like, and they film it too. Like, during the day when it's light out, you have all the peaceful protesters out there. And then they're saying, of course, at night, all of a sudden, it turns around into something else.
Yeah. And it's funny. He was on TV live this morning and he goes, I was wrong. A lot of people, he goes, no, he goes, 0 fires, 0 looting, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0.
But you want to know something also though, Flint?
He's a conservative religious Baptist. I'm going to tell you that right now.
But also, Chris, Flint has been through a lot too. I mean, with that water.
Detroit hasn't?
No, I mean, did Detroit go through that water crisis? I don't remember them having something like that.
What?
No, I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is it's more current. That didn't happen that long ago.
Well, you think maybe they all drank the water and they got dizzy when they got there and they had no energy?
No, that's not what I'm saying, Chris.
I know. I'm kidding.
I'm saying that, maybe because of that stuff they went through, that was pretty recent, right?
Mm-hmm, right.
In the past, what? I don't remember now.
Well, again, God, I'm knocking stuff over. Then how do you explain these more passive tourist cities? Los Angeles, okay, maybe. But like Portland, Oregon?
No, what I was saying is that maybe the relationship with the community is better there than at other places. That's what I was saying.
What city? Because I've done a lot of business in Indianapolis, and that's a big city. There's 2 cities I've worked in a lot. State. Bloomington, which is a college town south of that, in Indianapolis. I know there's Fort Wayne and all that, but Fort Wayne's not that, it would be Indianapolis, I think. So, because I've done a lot of foam parties there and I've had a lot of success, and it's a mixed city. It really is. Again, we're not trying to even gravitate to an audience. Like you said,
I think it's raining now.
It's raining. The conversation is to include anybody that wanted to be part of it, just to listen to it, just so they're not watching.
It's Gary, Indiana.
Wow, that's where Michael Jackson's family. Yep. Going back to Indiana. Remember that? Indiana, here I come. What was I going to say? The grassroots of this whole thing that we're doing, by the way, on Dante 10, even before Donna, was to have the conversation when I did it at night. So people 1, 2, 10, whatever, would at least, even if they watched it later, 3, 4, 5 in the morning, or in a different part of the country or world, that would have maybe something to identify with. And so tonight is really, 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 look at Kelly saying NC is off the, yeah, you know, and
what's going on? Because I'm watching the feed on CNN.
What I really want to, how do I say this? Like when I went last night, it wasn't just for my son and, you know, to hallmark the anniversary. That just happened to be coincidental. And it just kind of worked out that it was on the way there and back. I stopped to see where, you know, he was. But it was to be part and witness something that, and I wasn't being cynical or skeptical, but I had a feeling when you look at all the military and all the cities, and I don't care if they're, you know, this run by this kind of or whatever, and that may be a game changer. I don't know. But what I do know is that regardless of like what Donna just said, she pointed out maybe that's the reason or reasons. And I'm not finding fault on you. I'm not finding fault. I mean, because you might be right.
Said that could be playing a part in.
No, and I completely understand. I'm saying, because I'm not disagreeing with you. I don't know. I'm not, because I don't want to just say, well, no, it's Chris Swanson, and you know, and he's my friend, and I know that he just made, you know, he's got a connection with the Lord, you know, because he kind of does because he is a preacher.
I think,
but I don't think that was. I think you might be right. You might be, because you know what? If that is the reason, I'm trying to figure out then why these other demographics in parts of the country, when you see those names pop up, like if they say Dallas, or they say Miami, or, you know, these major cities, you're going to go, okay, that kind of makes sense, right? Right? Raise your hand. It makes sense. But if you go Petoskey, Michigan, you're going to go, what? You know what I mean? You're going to go, what? And then when you hear all these little things that the National Guard is mobilized, and they see them on 275 or 696 or somewhere, go, oh, no, and everyone's picking cities automatically without even getting the intel yet that, and okay, they're going to Waterford. Okay, they're going to Howell. They're going to Grand Rapids. Grand Rapids makes sense because they've been on the news. I didn't hear anything. My parents live in Waterford. I have friends that live there, work there. I've not heard anything about Waterford yet. I'm like, really? What else? You know, like, and then in fact, but to be fair, I live in Troy. I get everything sent to me on my phone or whatever. And I just found out about them mobilizing at Somerset, where I've worked for 15 years, you know, not just, you know, as a DJ, firefighter and all that. I had no clue that they were even having a thing today. I thought it was a joke. I thought it was going to be maybe Saturday. And I'm like, oh, it's kind of late. But somebody decided, oh, look at Sterling Heights. So we're going to have like rallies probably till July. You know, it's like a graduation party. You know, somebody, well, I'll have my party end of August because everybody's having it in June. Well, that's fine. That's fine. But, you know, who knows what's going to happen, because right now the president just said straight up, I mean, go watch it yourself. They're probably going to loop it on a soundbite. You know, he said, no more. Today's it. 7:00, you're done. And then the National Guard's going to come in there. And if the mayors and the governors don't do it, you know, he's going to do it. He's going to exercise almost like a martial law. And if the National Guard comes in there, I hate to say it, kids, but, you know, if the state police and these outside police sources that come in there with full riot gear, rubber bullets, tear gas, flashbangs, why would they have to bring in the National Guard? The last time the National Guard was deployed inside of the United States, outside of catastrophe like Katrina, tornadoes, you know, they help out with that. And the Army Corps of Engineers. The last time they brought them in, and I'm just going by memory here, I think it was like 210 years ago or something like that, the early 1800s, 50 years before the Civil War even began. 50 years before the Civil War, over 150 years ago, began. Think about that. All right. The country was, let's see, 1776 was the Declaration of Independence. I think it was like 1810 or something. It was something like that. Okay. So our country wasn't even 50 years old, and that's the last time they deployed the National Guard on its own citizens. Think about that. And our country wasn't even that big. It was a colony. It was like a little, you know, Michigan wasn't even part of it, I don't think, was it? So it's a scary time. And, you know, that might be a patriotic thing. Yay. And then it might be like, oh God, what's going to happen next? I don't know. But I'm going to tell you something. Between losing my cousin which is still fresh because I don't know who knows it yet. My son and everything else. And the fact that, I may say something that you guys may not like to hear. And at this point, I don't really care. Today's conversation, I'll keep it clean. I'll try not to cry because I'm going to tell you something. I'm really a mess inside, but I'm probably, Superman, I can be that guy, but you know what? It's beat the F out of me. It's beat the hell out of me. There's no church. There's no religion. There's no drugs or therapy that's ever going to put me back together ever. And it's not just because of this guy right here. It's everything. And compounded by what we're all going through. Yet that's why we're doing this right now. Hey, Marco, how you doing, buddy? That is why. So if you are smarter and stronger here and here or here than me or Donna put together times 10, great. Then say something positive, because if somebody's going to get negative, I'm coming over there. I got nothing to lose. But you know what? That's not what it's really about. It's about finding solutions, because who knows? Maybe they kick us off the internet tomorrow. Maybe because they've already look what they're doing to Twitter. Look what's happening. And Facebook is, Mark Zuckerberg's. He's probably, if he can listen to us, I mean, we started YouTube the other day. This is our second broadcast from it. And the reason I'm not trying to play music on it, and I played an instrumental version of the Doobie Brothers, because I played a small obscure song that was a radio hit years ago, but it wasn't one of his big ones, because most people from the last 10 years or my kids would never know it. It was a Prince song. Okay. And we got kicked off. Not just like Facebook will mute part of the video and give us a little thing. But let me tell you something. It was weird because I'm so used to looking here and I got to look over there. That it just kind of, and somebody told me today that you can go back in there and you can check off something and do these little things, because I'm not an expert in YouTube yet. I don't know all the little finagling and the little rules and stuff, because we're not trying to break any. I mean, I haven't even tried to make a dime off of this thing. All right. And it's costing us money to run it, but that's okay, because I wanted it to be a place. Donna wants it to be a place. And I think a handful of people that want it to be a place where you can come and, if you're tired and worn out, sad, depressed, hungover, whatever high, whatever you are, you can at least hear two people talking about whatever you want to hear. And we do joke and we are sarcastic and we have played games and things like that. We've even offered people to participate and contribute. In fact, I've even asked a lot of people, and I heard a lighter clicking. Did I hear a lighter clicking?
No. It's my haze machine.
Don't I have enough to deal with? Really?
That's my haze machine.
I'm going to haze you. That's what I'm going to do. like a college co-ed. So anyway.
They're still looting in New York? Is that what this says?
Well, you're my Robin. You're the news girl. Uh-oh, it's Lorma.
In New York City, my loved ones stay there and what?
Oh, thanks, Marco. Thank you, Marco. Mark is the one who hooked me up with the thing. I added a different camera because when we blew it up the other day, I looked like a puzzle, or I was like, oh, yeah. Right. So hopefully, tell me how I look. Do I look a little crisper, a little cleaner?
Yeah. Yeah. The new camera looks really good.
Thank you very much. And I can move it around. I just, the problem with moving it's like, how you go right and it goes left and it's kind of like backwards. It's like trying to drive for the first time using your mirrors. So what were we going to talk? Oh, what were we going to say? So, my job, and I have a very unique, thank you, Marco. I love you, man. Thank you. And yeah, something was on my phone. You should be able to call me now. Try it. In fact, text me. The one thing that I feel good about, because I haven't been really good at words when I say what I do or how I done things. Like today, did you see what I got? I'm gonna show you something. I had this thing sent to me and it's been sitting there and they didn't have my first name right. Well, they did, but I thought it was for Dante or somebody else. And I did. And I opened this envelope up. It was like this big, right? And I was going to send it, put it back in the mailbox and say, return to sender. Remember when I did that fire safety thing back in January, and Chris Swanson, who is the head.
Look into the other camera.
Oh. This is what I got. These kids did. See the handprints? It looks like fire.
Yeah.
Those are little handprints. I went in January when I was really depressed. A friend of mine, Julie Strasberg, she, her son's girlfriend or fiance, whatever. She's a teacher in Flint at a public school. It's like an inner city school. What's it called? See right there, Potter Elementary, right?
Okay.
And see the fire hose.
Yeah, with the water.
Yeah, and they put all the kids' names on the fire hose. See that? So they made that for me, and they sent that to me.
Oh, that was nice.
That was really nice. I don't know how to frame it, but it's pretty big actually. It fit in a little tiny envelope. So
I think that's awesome. That's cool. Nat too said that's awesome.
Yeah, it was really cool.
That's a cute idea.
And like yesterday, I felt like I was part of. See Captain America back there? They used to call me back there, either Superman or Captain America, because my initials CA, Captain America. And I always loved red, white, and I always love the American flag. I love the American flag. I don't know what it is about it. I just love the flag. It's over there, Bobby. So the thing that I tried to do, and I didn't do it just because my son had left. I did it when my son was here. When I was a firefighter, I was right next to Martel, the school. In fact, the parking lot shared with the fire station, right there on 2 miles from here, and a mile from my house. And so my daughter Sabrina and so Dante at the same time when I joined were in the same school for 2 years together, being 4 years apart. So I got 2 years together, and they'd come over and they had pop machine and chips and stuff like that. For free. They gave it to the firefighters. They had like a snack room. And, of course, when I brought my kids over, I was allowed to let them have whatever they wanted. And my kids were never like, give me 10 bags of this, but they were really cool. But I always felt cool that I could be there for them. And I always try to live, as a father, as a firefighter, as a person, every day I try to entice them to be the best they could be. And I was hoping in the back of my mind, this is what you do when you're a dad or a parent or maybe any kind of person, that you're hoping the world is going to change. It's like when you can't wait for that. It's like going to the movies. Here's a good analogy. It's like going to see the Avengers. And remember when they used to make those movies? It took like 3 years to make one movie. Remember that? Like Lord of the Rings were coming out in 2018. It was 2005 or something. Remember that? You're like, I hope I live that long. You know what I mean? Like by the time they finish these movie sequences, you're 79 years old. And you started watching when you were 5, right? So that's kind of what I was thinking. And being an older father, which I didn't want to be, okay, but I did pride myself in being healthy and youthful and all that. But I thought like, okay, maybe racism will go away, maybe. And I do believe some people will actually enjoy it. Some people love negativity. I think that too. But I didn't really think that. I'm kind of stupid and I'm naive in that regard. And it's like, man, I hope they make a touch phone. Remember when the first phone came? I had a flip phone, and then they had the phone where you texted and you had to hit like GHI 3 times to get the one letter. Remember? And I'm trying to. It's a bad habit because the angle's so high. It's like way up there.
Oh, they don't know what you're talking about.
I'm going to tell you. Okay, she texted me. She goes, "Look at the other camera." And I'm like, I'm so used to looking at the camera over here. Okay, so is that better? Does that look like I'm looking at you right now?
It looks like you're looking at everyone now.
Oh, does it? Okay. All right. It's way up there and it's in a dark spot. So I apologize. But anyway, hold on. My mouth's dry now. Now, you got me all stressed out now. Don't I have enough stress?
I think we all do. We all do.
I mean, I'm waiting. Like I said, I'm waiting for, I don't know, whatever. But that's kind of like waiting for the movie to come out. And as technology got better, they're pumping these movies out like every 3 weeks now. Now they're using special effects like on, we're getting so used to the special effects. We don't even care anymore, right? Like when we see gory movies, before they had ketchup, or whatever, red, and it looks so fake. Remember? It looked like lipstick melted on you or something, right? Now it's like my daughter was watching a show with me the other day, the 10-year-old. I shouldn't even say this. And I'm watching Chicago PD. I'm not even looking at it because I'm always doing something else. All of a sudden, the guy jumps off the building and it was, he landed 10 stories below on his head.
Yeah.
It looked like he landed on his head. And it was like, she goes, "Oh," and she knew the guy's name. She goes, "Sean." And she's sitting there on her phone. And I'm sitting, dear Lord, that's not the stuff I want the technology with its enhancements to provide for my kids. It's like, try this drug for better loving, and all this other stuff plus the side effects. I'm going, how do I curtail that from my kids seeing it? And then I'm trying to watch a PG movie that my daughter picks out. And the first thing they're talking about is body parts and, you know, I'm like, and I don't even feel comfortable with my 21-year-old daughter, and I'm like, okay, the world's not changing in the direction that I want it to. And I'm not hyper conservative. I'm not hyper this. That's why I'm but it's like, I just want the kids to have a normal life. I want them to believe in things that are fake for a while. So they have that imagination. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Like Mickey Mouse. They think Mickey Mouse is real when they go to Disney World. They don't think, man, it's some little teenager under there, some short girl being Mickey Mouse, right? In the hot sun, all sweaty. They think it's really Mickey Mouse. It's when they see Mickey Mouse, they get excited. That's how kids should live. Teenagers should have a way to enjoy themselves without getting caught up in peer pressure or bullying, because that was one of the things I thought about. It's not, you're never going to get rid of drugs. They're going to, oh, look at, they'll make drugs out of this, right? Can you see it? I mean, glue. Oh, wow, they've been doing glue forever. My point is, what are these kids thinking now? They've been out of school. They can't go to parties. They can't go to the playground. They can't have after school parties or all night parties. They can't graduate. And selfishly, in a little bit of way, but I really wasn't. When I heard people complaining, Susie and Tommy aren't be able to graduate for 2020. And I'm thinking, well, at least they get to graduate. And I thought, that's not the right attitude. Because for a minute I thought that, but I also was very I really was happy for people. So when I see that and I click a like, and I can't always click, there's so many damn emojis. Sometimes I click the wrong emoji, like the ha ha ha. It's like somebody just lost somebody. I'm like, no, that's not what I meant. Because I hope they don't see that.
You got to go back and click the right one.
Right?
I've done that before.
Oh my God.
I didn't mean to put that one.
Oh my God. I'm like, I just give up. You know what I mean? So I try to go beyond my own body power. I hear you took a nap for 3 hours. I haven't had 3 hours sleep in 2 weeks,
Okay, so this is what happened to me last night. What time did we get off the phone last night, Chris? It was late. We were watching CNN and all the news things together.
Fox, CNN, MSNBC.
I always
everything on.
I always get enthralled and flip through the channels and
3:34. I don't know. It was late.
No, it wasn't that late.
Sometimes it is.
But we weren't on that long, me and you. Oh. It wasn't that late. So I'm watching all this, and then all of a sudden, I get a call. I had to take it. I get off the phone with that person, and then I'm on this other call, and I did not get off the phone. I was on the phone. I'm not kidding you until I want to say, what time did I take a shower? Hold on. Noon?
What?
I didn't sleep.
Who are you talking to?
Yeah, I'm talking to you and everyone here. I did not sleep last night. So when I took my nap at 7 o'clock or 7:30 and woke up at 9, that was my sleep. I didn't sleep. I just couldn't. I was so riled up from what's going on. And
that's what's going on with everybody now.
And I was disappointed, because I feel the message is kind of getting lost.
It's all
with
over
all of the violence.
Helter Skelter.
But I was taught. But then I turned off the news at one point. I was talking to my friends on the phone, which I haven't talked to in a really long time. We were actually on an app called House Party, and it's kind of like FaceTime.
Yeah, I've seen
and
that.
We were on it all night, just talking, and it felt good to have fun and have that communication and not really be thinking about all the horrible things that are going on right now. Mm-hmm. So I didn't sleep. I got up. I was already up, but I took a shower. I ended up going to Plymouth to see my friend's. He owns a ice cream yogurt, frozen yogurt place.
What's that?
Went there, huh?
Just give it a shout out real quick.
Oh, it's Yogurt Town in Wyandotte. Did I say Plymouth? I meant Wyandotte if I said Plymouth. Yep.
Okay.
It's in Wyandotte, Michigan. But I went and visited him, I believe he just opened his business back up not that long ago. And while we're there, all of a sudden, you know, we all get a text about she lifted everything.
Oh, the governor.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that made a lot of people happy. You know, my buddies who own restaurants, everybody, you know. So I'm sure people can, you know,
but
go ahead, go crazy, say whatever you want.
But today it felt really good just to like go out. And my friends, he's had his business for a couple of years now. I haven't been there. I've been always so busy or tired or whatever, just, you know, because the job thing is I'm used to nights, you know.
Right.
And I'm like, you know what? I'm not doing anything. I'm gonna go see him today. You know, and then I don't know how I was still up, to be honest with you, but I was up, and we went there, hung out with him, and then, you know, another thing, I saw no one really. They were social distancing.
Right.
I mean,
like rallies and stuff or protests.
No. I'm talking about when I was in Wyandotte.
Yeah. Okay.
But I only saw maybe 2 people actually wear masks or gloves.
Yeah, I think that's out the door. I think even if you wear them at this point, and I'm not being facetious in any way, shape, or form, because, you know, when I trained hazmat, I got so many books back here I can show you, you know, from 2000 to last year. And, you know, when you have people that actually help you get inside your thing, and you duct tape over and over and over, you know, you seal yourself. There's no air that leaks inside. And they even did a test a couple months, like 3 months ago, that they had 10 people that were doing hazmat setups, you know, and hooking themselves up by themselves. And then they took a black light because they used a particular thing to see how, you know, how well they did. Every single person. Now, these are hazmat trained people with hazmat gear, all failed. Now, when you walk in there and your mask is like this, and, hey, how you doing? You know, it's like, here you go. Here you go. Hey, how you doing? You know, it's like, hey, I'm doing good. You know, I ain't wearing one. You know, it's like, okay, well, it's out the door. So
listen,
everybody, I said this already before. You're gonna get it. If you got it, you got it. If you get sick, you get sick. You got, you know.
Listen, it was out the door for me today. Remember, I told you the other day I went into a gas station. I forgot about it because when we went and got food, I went to the gas station on my way home. Forgot about my mask and gloves.
Yeah,
because I didn't do a mask and gloves when I went to Wyandotte either.
Yeah, there's a comfort zone. I mean, here's the deal. I have a different mindset because, you know, first off, I had a pretty colorful life. I'm older, and, you know, if something happened to me, you know, the only people that get upset are, like, you know, the mothers out there. You know, oh, you have daughters. You know, like, you know, it's not like, oh, you know, if I didn't have daughters, they'd be like, okay, you can go. You know what I'm saying? But it's like if something happened to me, it's like my ex-wife knew that when I got a fire run, like beep, 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 station 2, you know, blah blah blah, responder structure fire, fully engulfed. I'd be out the door, and I'd be like, you know, if I don't come back, you know, I love you, you know. And she goes, go get him. And it was like she knew that there was a potential, and twice that almost happened, you know, where I almost didn't come home as I'm like, you know, you're thinking a volunteer firefighter, you know, blah blah blah. No, we're trained exactly the same. We just don't get paid. And so what happened is, I mean, I knew in my life that if something was to occur that happened to me, and I met my doom, that I was prepared for it. And I think a lot of people, but what I think is I've seen change before, you know, all this, you know, George Floyd incident, is that a lot of people have all become, and this is fine. This is fine. You guys all turned into me. Like, it's okay if we die. If your mom dies, your grandma dies, your kid dies, if your weak, you know, immune system child dies at 12, 15, 20, we don't have to offer anybody sympathy. Okay, they got it. You know, it's a flu. Everyone dies. You know, 80 million people die. And I decided to take that empathy that I used to have, they called me an empath. And now I'm getting, it's like if anybody's family dies, kids, grandma, you know, just like my cousin died today, you know, I'm not even going to tell you his name because, you know, I think at this point in the United States of America and the world, that if you die, you had a good life. If you're 12 years old, 3 years old, you know, you miscarried, that baby wasn't supposed to live. That's my new position. Dante taught me that. And the people's consensus on Facebook taught me that. Well, that's what I see. But if somebody says to me, hey, I'm afraid, I'm scared, I am that person that, has a weak immune system, then I will exercise compassion individually, no longer as a blanket assessment. Now, just like with this thing here, like the protesters, I do believe that there's a problem. They should go out there and connect. The connection, the root of the evil is the police perception with a particular group of people, and a lot of people, actually. I don't think when you're driving down the highway and you see the Royal Oak Police Department or the state cops, and you're like driving in your car, listening to music, drinking your Starbucks, going, man, hey, I'm so glad they're there. You're like, and your heart stops because you look at your speedometer going 88, damn, on a 55. You're not going, oh, I love those cops. Boy, he was cute. They're like, oh, shit. Right? Raise your hand if you don't. Right? Your heart goes, doo, 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 doo. Oh, God. Oh, God. Oh, okay. Oh, go. Oh, there's that that Toyota driving past me really fast. Maybe I'll see him instead of me. You're hoping that they get the other person, right? You're like, thank God for that other person. You don't care if they get a $150 ticket. That's where we become. So if anybody wants to accuse me, I mean, I've got hundreds of people that can say, no, Chris hooked me up, or he took care of me, or he saved my life, or he, talked me off the ledge. I've been doing that suicidal. I've been doing that depressed, broke. You pick a flavor, kids. Today is my son. I was in a hospital I didn't sleep the entire time today, 9 months ago. Oh, Chris, we heard this story. See, I get it. And you know what was one of the nicest things that happened to me besides getting this in the mail, finding that thing, is that a woman named Amber Matthews, she texted me last night. I was too busy with everything, and she texted me right before we went on. She says, hey, can I it's my birthday, can I create a donation? You know how you can do the donation thing? I don't do it. And she said, in your son's name, the No Kids Hungry, because that's his thing. And for me, it's hard to say yes, but then I go, oh, yeah, sure. And so that's what I just shared before we went on the air. And I thought that was really cool. So I guess I got to delegate a new mindset of how I'm going to feel towards people. You know what I mean? And for me, it's only two kinds of people: the people that care, compassionate, giving, or sincere, or the other people, right? There's only two people. There's only two kinds of people. There's not a middle. Some people aren't just generous one day and then not generous the next, right? Have you ever seen that? Like, wow, if you catch her on a Wednesday, she's going to hook you up. You know what I mean? But don't call her Thursday or Friday. It's never in my life. It's either people that are and people that aren't. But I think social media, not the media, forget the media. You can turn that off. That's why we're on here tonight. We're on here tonight because we don't give a shit. We don't give a shit if you don't like it or don't want to hear it or whatever. But it's a conversation you can be part of at the same time, if that makes sense. That you can go, wow, at least I'm not talking to myself or looking at my little phone going, looking at text. You're hearing people. We want everybody to feel, because I have so many people say such negative things, and it's on everywhere, and it's like, okay, I'll allow it to happen. That's just human nature. I don't care, if you wish death on people or don't or whatever, that's your thing. I just have to accept the way the world is, right? Okay. But when I saw Chris Swanson, and he's got a mansion, I mean, let me help you. He's a motivational speaker. He talks to kids. He knows the Bible backwards. He's a hardcore Christian. He's very dynamic. He knows every story. If you sit there and say, hey, if you're in a supermarket with him and it's packed and he runs into you, or you run into him and you say, hey, he'll go, you should do this. You should eat better, get a job, And he goes, man, I wish you the best. He's really motivational. But if you say, there goes, well, maybe you can pray for me, one day, like when somebody says that, like prayer warriors, can you get prayers? And they get those little emojis. You've seen those, right? He goes, oh yeah, sure. And he'll grab you, and he'll, like, you're in the cereal aisle, with Fruit Loops and, Captain Crunch, and he'll get on his knee and he'll pull you down. And trust me, he can pull you down. And he's holding, he goes, dear Jesus, dear Lord, God, blah, 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 blah. And he'll go on, and he'll like, you're like 6 aisles away going, am I in church? You know what happened? And he's that guy. He's that guy. And he'll go, power to be, power to the, he was like, he's quoting scripture like nothing. And I ask people, I go to church all the time. Oh, I go to church all the time. God loves me. I'm so good. I believe in God. I go, really? I go, okay, tell me something about Leviticus. What? Who? Levi? What? No. I go, okay, it's my favorite.
At the nightclub in
oh yeah. It's like, I go, oh yeah. You know what's one's cool? Psalm 23. What song is that? I said Psalm. No, Psalm. No, as you know, the one as you walk through the valley of shadow. Oh, I love that one. I'm like, so he's not a hypocrite. The guy's not a hypocrite in his diet, his gym, anything he does. And I can tell you about 90% of the people I know, outside of like, I can't, like my gym is different because they're really dedicated people there's something about the atmosphere, but I see people and they're not dedicated. They love to complain. I'll join the gym. Oh, I'll lose weight. And then, Chris, I don't like you. Might not be my friend. And I'm going, do you know how many people I'm looking? I don't even have a chance to read all the people that want to be my friend. It's crazy. And I'm not being egotistical about that. It's just because the message that I get from other people. I don't just get it from me. I get it from Donna. I get it from Chris Swanson. I get it from people I get some great messages from people you least expect it. My brother called me the other day and said something at 3:00 yesterday morning. He checked on me. He's never called me at 3:00 in the morning to check on me because I know you went to Flint. Are you okay, Mike? And I get surprised by people all the time. And I don't mean it came off wrong. Like I don't like my brother isn't caring and compassion. No, but it's just not. It's not something it's like, if your mom calls you at 4 a.m, you're like, why is my mom calling at 4 o'clock in the morning? Because I know she didn't butt dial me. She's got a rotary phone still, you know what I mean? Or something, right? But the thing is that when and how do I know Chris Swanson? I was doing my phone party business back in 2007 or 8. I've been doing it since 96. And I had a big phone party. In fact, my lieutenant, who wasn't, Keith, came over because he heard all these things and they thought I was full of crap. Because I said, oh, I do this and I do that and they do this and I do this. And they're like, we better go check him out. So he came over doing a little bit of recon, right, Keith? And he saw what we were doing. I had a big phone party in the backyard and it was for my daughter. I had music playing. We had all kinds of stuff. And we even were raising money for the Royal Oak Humane Society because we made money. And my daughter goes, Dad, can I give it? She loves, animals. And I'm going, no, I want the money. I need the money, baby. I love money. Give me money, man. This foam doesn't grow on trees. So anyway, I'm just kidding. But so they hooked it up. Well, the next thing you know, Chris saw me, something on the internet. And he goes, hey, he owns an amusement game company too, as well. And he says, I do this, what do you call it? Those haunted houses, like, the one like in Pontiac. And he does one way up in like the Flint area at the time. And so that's how we got to talk. And he pulls up in this black Corvette. He's real, muscular, and he's younger. He's younger than me. He's about 10 years younger than me. And he's real. You think I talk fast? He's like, hey, you see him in the interviews too, right? And he's always like, hey, oh yeah, and it's like, yes, you know what I mean? He's, oh yeah. I'm going, that's like me in fast forward, right? Because people always go, Chris, So he was like, a crazier version of me. If they were to like make an avatar, you know what I mean? Like what's that movie Jumanji when they turn the one guy into the Rock, right? And so we became friends, and then we realized we belonged to the same church. I spent 20 years looking for a new church after I left Catholicism, and I went to every kind of church, Baptist church in Detroit, Assembly of God. I went to temples and everywhere. You think it, because I was trying to find my spirituality, and I found this guy out in Waterford. And ironically, last year, April 1st of 19, that was the first bad casualty I had, because this guy was like my spiritual guru, not Chris, this other guy. He was a pastor, and he was a real deal, married, kids, everything, great guy, outgoing, even just like him. And then he had a fall from grace, so to speak. But Chris would be also a preacher at this place, and he'd get up there, and I would text him because I would watch him from the internet, just like how we're doing it now. And I go, you did great in that one part, I was critiquing him. And he laughs. He's going, man, thank you for that. Thank you. And he just would keep improving because I was giving him tips, like how you and I give each other tips.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Because we're like trying to make it. So, sometimes, and, I thought like he would look at me like, who are you to tell me, this and that? And like, yeah, you should have buttoned your shirt this way and you should have done this. I'm doing little things for him because he's in front of 1,000+ people and plus on the internet. And what happened was, him and I became friends even more so. And right before Dante died, my friend Linda, and my daughter Sophia went to his house, and we found, and I never been to his house in Fenton before. This was back in August and July or August. I can't remember. It was right before Dante passed. And we went and we found this private road. We went to this really nice neighborhood, real nice neighborhood. And because Fenton's pretty nice. I'd never been through there before. And then all of a sudden we find this one and the gates open. Like that. You know what I mean? Those electronic gates and this really nice pave. And we called him, and then we drove up this long driveway, and there's this big giant house. Got movie theater, he has his own private lake, pool, glass balcony with the jacuzzi. It's like, people that we know, right? And it's like, and I go, hey, this is he even goes, I have a store in my house, and he sends my kids down there. He's got ice, he's got racks. Take as much as you want. Full size, king size bars, ice cream, cases of everything. It's like Willy Wonka land over there. It really is. And it was crazy. And he goes, and I'm like, no, that's okay. He goes, no, take as much as you want. And my daughter's like, so they're grabbing like two. He goes, no, take more. like this. It's like Halloween, right? So he's been that guy where I believe what he's going to say is true. And that takes a lot. And because I have so many other people that say a lot and don't do anything. Just like, and I guess the message I had last night was actions speak louder than words. You know what I mean? What's going on? I see you looking up there pretty intent. What's going on?
Oh, nothing. I was seeing if anything was going on.
Anything, any death or destruction? I want to see the National Guard unload those 50 cal.
Oh my God.
Why no more?
No, I don't know where they're at right now. They're not saying. It just came back on.
Remember those movies?
Oh God.
And the cradle will rock. That's right, Joe. So anyway, so raise your hand if I was thinking about buying some firewood, just a little bit, right? Because I like the fire. And I'm thinking, okay, 2 days ago, I'm looking at the weather here in Troy, Michigan, and it's not too far from, how much different could it be from Detroit to Southfield, Sterling Heights, wherever? And it was like, it's supposed to be in the 60s, right? 60s. And it was supposed to rain today. It didn't rain over here. Does it rain now? You said it's raining?
It's raining now.
Okay.
Right when we started the show, right when you went on, it started raining over here.
It was supposed to be like, 60s, low 70s. You know what the temperature is going to be tomorrow? You know what the temperature is going to be? 87 degrees.
87 look at the other camera.
87 degrees.
Yes, exactly.
87 degrees. 87 degrees. I'm like, wait, where's that guy at? Where's he at?
I thought it was only going to be in 70 degrees. And on my way to, what do you call it? Wyandotte, I was like, it's like 75. It's beautiful outside.
I know, but, I was thinking I was going to buy firewood and tomorrow I'm going to have to turn on the air conditioning. Because 87 degrees after rain is humid. You're going to have mosquitoes everywhere. I mean, we really can't complain because it's been hot and humid down south Florida. What's it like in Louisville right now? She said Louisville. It's raining in Highland. Wait, what did I do there? Oh, there it is. It's raining there. Louisville. Okay. That's where I know Chris from. Yep. Oh, there's Cheryl. It's raining here. The weaker is weird. I know
the weather is weird.
I know what she said. I like to tease people. It'll be raining, blah, 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 losing power and sun alignment and Warren just a couple miles away. It's dry. Let's see. What did Vincent say? I wonder if there's a curfew in Detroit right now. 8 o'clock bars and restaurants supposed to be open next week. Does the curfew still exist? You know what? I think they're doing this play-by-play daily. I think because the president made a statement, and one thing you got to say about the guy whether you like him or not, is that if he says that I think he kind of means it. So he wanted it done tonight or else. It was kind of tonight or else. So that's yet to be determined. I'd like to see what happens. That's why I'm wondering.
Dude, I'm watching the protest in Denver.
Denver. I mean, don't you go skiing? What? How? Who's skiing? It's like it's too high. It's a mile high. You get dizzy up there. Like, okay. You got it. Where's my thing at? Here, I got to get some oxygen.
I think they went back to LA. Yeah, they're back in LA now.
This is kind of like a telethon. All right, how much money do you guys raise in New York? Oh, $11 million. All right, let's go back. Let's switch back to LA. LA, how you guys doing? Oh, we got 9 million protesters, and they're sizing it up with the National Guard. It's so frustrating. It's crazy. I mean, what point of view? You decide. What point of view should I have? Like, ha ha. Because I had a friend out there today said mow him down, and he meant it.
Who are you looking at?
I hate you. You know what? Can you see this? Can you see
Who are you talking to, Chris?
Myself. Captain America. Yeah, I'm looking at Captain America. Hi, Captain.
Kelly said they're still protesting in Louisville.
So, all right, let's play some bets. What do you? Who should be tonight? Like, be the death and destruction? Like, isn't there like a limit? I mean, you gotta give it credit. I've never seen, like, when Ferguson happened, nothing really happened here in Detroit.
Hey, look at me.
Oh my God. I'm gonna go home. Oh wait, I am home. Sorry. You know what I should do? I wish I could, like, how can I I don't know. But you know what? I mean, it's weird because I'm so confused about the news I just got and everything else that's going on in my life. But that thing last night, and then I was like, I was kind of like in a state of awe, like, okay, if they did it and he was on the news, you know what? I got an idea.
What do you do?
I'm gonna make myself. Do I got to stick? Wait, hold on.
What are you trying to do?
I'm gonna take what you used to do. Remember with the selfies? I'm gonna go look at the camera. I'm gonna put like an arrow. Right? Wait. Look at, like, right here. Let's see. Wait, what I can do? Right there. Wait. Oh, wait. That's where the camera's over there. So I'm gonna put it right here. Okay. So I'm gonna put it right over my face. So I don't have to look at it. All right. So anyway, it's hard because I want to see your face, but you're to the right side of me now. You're like way over here to the right, or that way. All right. Well, anyway, okay, wait. Okay, now I have to look over here to see the things. Chris Swanson could really run for president. I was impressed with him yesterday. Now he's very, very hyper. Come on, everybody, get up. It's 4:00. We're gonna run 11 miles backwards up a hill. Come on, guys, let's go. Come on, you can do it. No excuses. Let's go. And then you're gonna do some burpees, and then it's like, come on, all right. And
very energetic.
Oh, and I'm like, I've trained with all kinds of people.
She'd make working out a law, probably.
You guys all die. I could handle it. I mean, I know I could catch up.
I can't.
That's what I'm saying. You would die.
I've had a gym membership for 6 years, and I haven't been since 6 years ago, and I keep paying on it.
But you look so good. You do. Oh man, let's see. So anybody give me any reports on? Okay, so we established the weather. We also, because we're going to go off in about 20 minutes. And then, if you guys are good, maybe we'll come back tomorrow and play some music. But nobody really, I don't know. Because if Donna guesses that you guys are the dead Kennedys, she's going to go off on these little tangents. Because we should have your favorite Marilyn Manson night.
No one would come. He's not my all-time favorite though, but he is one of them that I like.
For anything exciting, what's going on? I mean, does anybody have any like really cool details on what is really happening out there right now? Because you know what, he said that he was going to call out the National Guard, tonight. I just found out this week my brother postponed his wedding for next year.
A lot of people are doing that.
Why?
My friend in Wyandotte,
Everything's opening up this
my
week.
friend in Wyandotte was supposed to get married in August. They postponed it to November.
Why?
This was back when all this first happened. They didn't know how long this was going to be.
Because I seen Ryan Russo, DJ, he put out his thing today, to fill out his form for,
But a lot of the
not doing
halls, a lot of these reception places and stuff like that, all postponed back when everything was really unsure.
Well, I mean, do you guys think it's going to spike or not? That's a question.
Vinny said he lives in New York and Brooklyn.
Well, that's a hot zone.
Tina said only 100 people.
It's going to suck is that if this thing is for real and if it affects people 60 and over, or whatever, because, usually when you go to a wedding, like your grandma's there or your aunt and uncle that bring you $100 or $500. The good news is they're all going to be dead. So there you go. So you probably get like less money, right? We expect that. So it should just be for the young people, right? So was that raw? Well, that's what I read though. I read that stuff. I'm just trying to fit in, like like the cool lingo the kids talk. Hey man, what's up? It's like, I don't know. It's all calculated. See, he says it's all calculated. What does that mean? Cleveland has the National Guard since Saturday night still in lockdown. Yeah, but are they opening fire? That's what I want to know. I want to see water cannons. I want to see bazookas, RPGs, hand grenades. Wouldn't it be kind of funny?
Yeah, in Detroit when we were watching that live feed of was it yesterday? It seemed like they were really fast for like the tear gas and everything.
I got tear gas down here. See it?
Yeah, but you know what I'm saying. I feel like they just didn't play around.
No, yeah, but you know what? They were picking at. Never pick up a tear gas canister they're very hot. They'll burn your hands. Greeks have big weddings. What did Marco say? Let's see. They want to reopen so it gets out of control. X massive cases. Okay, that's one thing. Okay, I've been bouncing around. Things seem more peaceful. There were other police taking in. They were copying us. Oh man, did they copy my hand move? I put it on the shoulder. That was kind of good, wasn't it? No, I'm kidding. No, you know what though? Good. I mean, I don't know what's going to resolve this thing because you're always going to have. Let's be fair. You're going to have people that just want to break into stuff, damage stuff, graffitiing. I mean, I'll be honest with you. When I've been to DC, and I can't imagine all these historic places, like they said that they vandalized the Lincoln Memorial. I think of my son being there. That's never been vandalized before. How can they I remember when 9/11 happened. Let's be fair. If you're old enough for 9/11, back in 2001, I remember when they said that they hit the World Trade Centers. I thought it was a Cessna, like one of those small private planes flew into the, like a hell, because people.
Yeah.
Me and my buddy Steve McHugh, who's on there, we would fly in between, like, the airspace around the downtown Detroit area, but you can only get so close. And I thought somebody lost control. Then when you hear a 747 or a wide body hits these things and they're aiming right at the buildings, I'm like, okay, one, boom. Then they said when they hit the Pentagon, I'm like, the most powerful war building on the planet. How is that even possible? How could you even get near that? I thought that was impossible. So now when you're telling me that there's a bunch of people sizing up the Secret Service and 50 or 60 Secret Service agents, along with normal police in DC and everybody else
being injured.
I mean, and that's just a fence. That's just a fence around the White House. It isn't like this big, Chinese Great Wall or something, you saw that. I have an issue with one of the Troy cops there. Was there like a blonde fat guy there? Him and I don't do well together. But there's a lot of other good Troy cops. I do. There's really some good ones. But yeah, and they should. I think they got the memo. I think they got the little sticker that said, you know what, at least try to engage these people, the kids, young and old, whatever, wherever they're from. And, show a little solidarity. That's what we need. We need to unify. We need to get it going on. Is it going to work for everybody? No. You know what I mean? Does a diet work for everybody? No. Does anything work for everybody? No. But you got to start somewhere, right? Am I wrong? Let's see. So that was that. Oh, wait. I think the Chrysler plants have having COVID related issues. There were people collapsing on the floor, throwing up. They weren't sure. Oh, that's fake news. I like to start that one. That's not even mine. No, is that really what did that really happen? We're being controversial tonight because we just want people to throw. They should have like an emoji where they throw stuff at me. You know what I mean, right? Because being polite and nice doesn't seem to always work. Okay, me and my family actually took a tour of the White House, and when I was really little, and one of my little brothers wandered away in the room, wrong room, the Secret Service said, "This is your son," and we got escorted out. Yeah, they don't. That's what I'm saying. They don't play, and I don't know how they got injured by a bunch of civilians. So now we've got the National Guard, kids. We got the National Guard. And what was really funny about 3 months ago, and I said this a lot, and I look like the guy crying, the sky is falling. I said the National Guard is going to be deployed to lock us down in our houses. And everyone's like, oh, no. Well, I mean, look how fast all these Jeeps and tanks are. They weren't too far away, were they? They didn't have to send them in from California. They, we have those, they're stationed everywhere anyway. But my point is, I was thinking, all right, well, I guess we didn't have to call up the National Guard. Good for us. And then this came along.
Yeah.
And then I'm thinking, okay, this could last the weekend.
Well, wait, what states don't have the National Guard right now or aren't utilizing them?
Actually anywhere that there's activity, a hotspot, like any kind of gathering,
well, he was saying that not all of the states are using them
because not all the states are on TV right now, are they?
Yeah.
I mean, you don't see Montana on there. Oh, we got the crazy people on,
No, I'm saying he said not everybody that needs to utilize them, I thought, are utilizing them.
I'm sure. Well, every state has the National Guard. They all have.
But who's utilizing them and who's not is what I'm asking.
Okay. Well, my fair guess to answer your question would be Los Angeles, Detroit, Grand Rapids, all these cities that you're seeing. New York for sure. Right? What did he say? Oh, my onboard conspiracy theorist. Hold on. There you go. Chris, do you think this murder could possibly have been staged, perhaps? Seems very convenient. I saw somebody actually saying that.
I've seen a lot of that conspiracy stuff too.
There you go.
Hawaii?
Which island? If you say Maui or Kauai, I'm going to where can I go safe? Where can I just go? I want to go somewhere else. I just want to go. No, thank you. Are you going to bed? When he says thank you, that means he's leaving.
That means he's going to sleep.
Yeah, he's like, I think I gotta go back. Right? Oh man, I feel
love
so
you,
bad.
Vinny.
What did he say?
I just said love him.
Oh, you love him? Oh, remember that thing we did?
He's a good dude.
How do we do that? Where's your hand? Give me your hand. Give me your hand. You're supposed to make the heart.
I can't do it that way. What can I?
Practice. We can do it on. That's a messed up heart.
I know.
Oh man, Maui.
I'm sure. Oh, can we go?
Like now?
Well, wait, Hawaii. They're still making you wait 15 days till you can go out in Hawaii. I did read that.
Man, I'm ready for eels and sharks, man. At this point, come on. Let me just get out of here. I love pineapples. A coconut. No one in the coconut. That song I forgot. Oh, Pam just got here. Well, Pam, Pam
was here earlier because she said hi.
She said my friends just left.
She literally was here earlier because I liked her hello.
So, Pam was worried about social distancing. If she had friends over there, that means that, the bath water's out now. What?
Pam, hi, with the hand. She was here earlier.
Oh, okay. Well, she's is that Brussels sprouts or broccoli? I don't know. Oh, that little Vitamix thing I got? It comes with a little, thing you got to put in this thing. You spin it upside down. And it's funny. I've never done. I'm adding spinach and kale and, leafy greens and, dandelions outside. And I'm throwing a couple strawberries in, a little bit of honey. And,
you have me at strawberries and honey. I don't know.
Rainwater out of the gutter. You ever seen my gutter?
The rest of the stuff.
It's kind of dirty. But anyway, I mix it all together and then I drink it up. It tastes delicious.
I tried a new drink at Starbucks today. I always get the dragon drink, but they have some kind of guava passion fruit drink.
Is that named after this the Space Wars thing or Space Wars Space X thing? That's what it's called, the Dragon. The thing, the space shuttle that they used.
It's called. Yeah, I don't know. No, it's not.
I'm just trying to make this interesting.
No,
it's a very sad, depressing day. Who wants to be sad and depressed? Who's more sad?
No, it's like have you ever remember those refreshers I used to buy when we used to do the morning show? Every morning I would go to Starbucks and then come over to your house and I'd have this refreshing drink, like the fruity refresher drink.
Uh-huh.
So it's literally those drinks, but instead of using like water, they put coconut milk in it.
Oh, coconut milk?
Yeah.
I've never had coconut milk. I've had coconut water.
It's good.
Did you guys see the aliens? Well, we got carrot. Okay, I'll try that later. Let's see. Did you guys see the aliens in Idaho? Oh, what was that about?
Wait, I don't know.
Oh, boo! I don't want to.
Hold on, wait. I don't know about this. What is?
There's like some hovering thing in the clouds. I saw it like 10
Oh, seconds. I saw a picture of that. Is that real or photoshopped?
It was next to Sasquatch. He was up there. I was like surfing on it. Come on. So,
but what if there really are aliens?
I don't have the news. I'm gonna find the news.
What if there really are aliens here?
Thank God. I hope they take me away. I don't even care if they eat me. There was a did you guys ever see the Twilight Zone, the original one? Some of you guys are probably too young. They have the black and white Rod Serling. There's a.
I remember the reruns.
Yeah. Well, anyway, they had these aliens. They were really tall. They were like 7 feet tall. And they came down in the United Nations and all them. They came in and they said, they came in and, they had, I can't remember if they talked or not. I'm trying to remember. And then they came in, the whole world was watching them. And they had all these people from all over the world come in. And then they came out and they had this, they gave them this book as a gift, this giant book, right? It was like a big book. And it goes, and then they had their scientists trying to figure it out. So they interpreted it and they go, the book is to serve man. And they were like promising them, like they were going to take them to, like in their spaceships to like a paradise. The weather, everything was perfect. Right. And so the one guy, he's like a journalist or something. I can't remember. And he's like the main character in the whole thing. And he's got these assistants and this one woman. And so they're all happy. Everyone's loading up. They're all excited or going up like these escalators into these spaceships, like, countless people. Right. And they're loading up all these spaceships full of people, right? And he's getting in the escalator, or he's about to get on the escalator, and the girl comes running in at the end, and she goes, don't get on. He goes, why? Because everyone's thinking, like they're here to help us, right? She goes, what's wrong? She goes, the book, it's not, it's a cookbook. You get it? And they threw him up there. And then next thing you know, he's like trapped in this room and they were feeding him sandwiches like through the thing. And he's talking about it. And he was super hungry because he was trying to starve himself. But he was in there so long, he ended up eating it because they were trying to fatten him up so they could eat it. That kind of a weird. Do you guys remember that? But it was really cool. I thought that was really cool because it was like they thought that this, the aliens came down and they were really tall and really weird looking. And they thought, wow, you can go to this perfect place. Because, back then in the 50s, the earth, they thought, had all these, we had war forever. Everything that we had then, they have, now, so to speak, without the internet. So what happened was, I just thought it was kind of cool. All right, I'm going too long on that story, but I like that. To serve man. It's a cookbook. So they were getting like, like what we've done to animals, I guess. So anyway,
Oh,
so
CNN.
CNN moment. Is it real?
No, they have Chris Swanson on CNN right now.
Oh, is he really?
Yeah.
Is it live?
I don't know.
Oh crap! Let me see.
That saw the message, that acted, and is set the tone across the nation. My heart breaks for those cities. You report.
I could look for it.
We're being watched by the entire world.
See, hold on, you guys. Hold on. You guys seeing it?
I'm gonna look for it right now.
All right, hold on. I'm trying to find it on Facebook. Let's see.
Calls all across the nation for police reform. I'm wondering what that change means.
Okay, is it live?
You find it?
I'm watching live. It's just showing the riots.
No, I'm on CNN right now.
Maybe I got the wrong one. Oh no, I didn't get that one. Never mind. It's funny. I gotta get out of it, get in it. What happened?
No such thing as a bad cop, because if they're bad, they shouldn't be the police.
Hold on.
Those people out, and that means terminations, that means charges if they do wrong. The public expects more. George Floyd.
They showing him?
Yeah, he's talking right now, but I'm looking for the thing, so maybe I can put it up here.
You guys watching this? You guys watching it at all?
Yeah, I'm looking to see if I can put it up, Linda.
Oh man, I got to open like 5 different things to get it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Allow.
They're the ones that are here to protect and serve. You walk into your communities, you use your power, your influence, your grassroots.
Oh, there he is.
Start the conversation. Take the initiative. Bring it to the street. That's what happened. Advice. I know that's partial advice. You got advice from departments around the country looking to improve in the short time we have left. Yeah, absolutely. Don't give up on the people. No matter what's happening in your city, don't give up. They are the ones that we are protect and serve. You walk into your communities, you use your power, your influence, your grassroots, your leaders, and you ask them, will you walk with us? Because we want to walk with you. That's what happened in Flint, Michigan. That's exactly what Sheriff Chris Swanson did. He walked with the protesters, and he understood, and he had a conversation with them. You met them where they are, and that's what we need. That's what America needs. Thank you for your service. I appreciate you joining us here on CNN. Thank you. And thank you, everyone, for watching. Our live coverage continues. So
anyway, whether you like CNN or not, he was on there. He's a friend of mine. I don't even care if he was on the Nickelodeon channel. I'd probably watch him. So, right. So that's a good conversation. It's a good conversation because if you have anxiety, fear, if you've experienced racism, good or bad, if you're afraid of a particular culture, good or bad, that's the real conversation that we're allowed to have here. That even on cable channels are probably not. Does that create anger, fear, animosity? You know what? I got nothing to lose. I mean, as you can see, and what I say, think, or do, or where I go is nothing any different. I think anybody else can't do. You can do it better. You can get in your car. You can go to a protest. You can, you didn't have to know Chris to go up there. I went up there. I wasn't trying to start a revolution. I wasn't trying to make a point. I didn't go hold a sign. I let the kids do it. Whatever they thought. Those cops sit there and took F the police. Blah, blah, blah. And they saw it and they're just smiling because they know. They didn't take it personal. They might have a little bit. I mean, it's not like, hey, like F the firefighters or F the, you know what I mean? Nobody wants to hear that. But that was their way of saying, is it disrespectful? Well, by all accounts, for years, it was. It is disrespectful. It was, and it is. It was, and it is. Whether you like cops or not, whether I like cops or not. I've had one of the worst experiences I've had was a cop that lives a mile from here. Okay, many times. He's affected my life. I can't say nothing good about that individual. But I have friends that know him, so I got to be careful because I know that they watch me on it. But I'm just being honest. Now, does that mean I would go protest or would I go to do anything to affect his life? No. I know I could besmirch him and get away with it on this forum. I say what I feel to a degree, but I have to be very careful. Why is that? Well, one, you got to have integrity. You got to have a little class. That's hard. That's hard. It's hard for me because I don't have any. You know what I'm saying? But you got to have it. And, the respect, because Whether you don't like a particular group of people, Facebook is not going to dissolve. Twitter is not going to dissolve. In fact, Twitter and Facebook and all these social media platforms, I don't think TikTok, because nobody under the age of 25 uses TikTok, I don't think. But the ones that are the most formidable, they're even under the gun. They're under scrutiny. They probably don't agree with the politics or the legislatures or the opinions of most people, from a regular civilian like me to the president of the United States. So they're like, God, we're forced to stay open. It's like a landlord that if you don't pay him rent in Michigan for 3 months in the coldest of winter, you as the landlord have to keep the heat on, the electricity on, and make sure the water's running, even if that person's squatting. Think about that. Now, there may be some discernments in there, but that's pretty much the squatter has rights. Doesn't that suck? But that's the truth. So some people like me, I'm not going to squat in a place, because no matter what, I would take my battle outside of the box and try to resolve it, because at the end of the day, when I go to the next person, I know that they're going to say, well, you know what? He at least paid his bills. At least he didn't put holes in the walls or steal the appliances. Because you know what? I've learned this. You could say it's karma. You could say it's whatever, but you know what? My reputation, for all the things that people may judge me about, about my son or this or the way I do things, but every day I do something that I think everybody else could or should be doing and isn't. Like, I went up to Flint. I said I was going to Flint. I didn't have anybody ask to go. I was very clear in that morning. I'm going to Flint. Somebody could have said, hey, I'll drive. Or, hey, let's stop at, we'll stop at the, Halo Burger if it's open, or wherever. There's a lot of reasons people could have said, hey, want to go? Nobody offered me. Well, I would have gone. Oh, why didn't you ask me? Well, but I'm not mad at anybody. And I wasn't thinking in the back of my mind, well, God, all those people didn't ask me to go. But the thing is, or you could have just drove up there with me. Hey, you know what? Hey, I might meet you up there. I might see you up there. Hey, I'm going to go check out this thing too. Because I did post the video. It got several hundred shares. It got more shares, that post I put yesterday morning, than all my Dante posts put together. More shares than all my Dante posts put together. I already know it, because I get like 2-3 shares, 5 shares maybe. I'm into the several hundreds. I even put it on Jay Towers thing. He didn't call me. I put it on my Michael J's thing. Nothing, but he liked it. I put it in Mojo in the Mornings thing. I said, hey, he's going, because these guys, they go, oh, we want to help make a difference. I go, hey, listen, that's my buddy. Let's walk. I'll walk down here. I'll represent you. I know Mojo. I've worked with him. I've done things for him. I did weddings with him. I've done things with all these guys. They know who I am. They know, everything. And you know what? Nobody called me. We can walk. We can complain. We can talk. But I think most people, honest to God, and I say this respectfully, with dignity, I think most people are full of shit. I don't care if you go to church twice a week. I think you're full of shit. Because I'll quiz you. And I'll see what you did. Now, you may not have ever saved anybody or helped anybody, or you may stab people in the back behind and get away with it. But the world watches. Karma watches. And if somebody clicks me off because they go, oh, I don't like him anymore, I'm not trying to make an enemy, because I beat myself up every mother effing day. Every day. I do. Anybody that knows me knows that I don't care if the roof caved in on my head. But instead, what I tried to do without coaching, nobody calls me up and says, Chris, you should do this. Chris, you should do that. Chris, you know what? I'm going to come over and make you a nice smoothie or something, I'm going to give you a vitamin that's going to make you feel good, or a CB. Not once since my son died. Nothing. I'm not saying people haven't been nice to me. Pam brought me some stuff. This Lori brought me stuff. Linda does nice stuff for me. You do stuff for me. Everybody's done stuff, but it's not, and I don't want anything from anybody. Okay, first and foremost, I'm making a point. If you have other people out there, because there's other people, not me. Don't worry about me. I want the whole point I was making about the Chris Swanson thing going up north was that, okay, Flint sounds scary. It's 50 miles away. I mean, Detroit's right here. Troy's right here. Troy's 2 miles from me. Sterling Heights, it's 5 minutes. And you can watch it from home. But I don't have the gas money to go up there all the time. I didn't feel like driving up there. There's a lot of reasons. I had to pass in a broad daylight where I know my son got killed. 9 months to the damn day. Now, if you're a mother or you own a pet or something or a father, would you want to go back to the scene of the crime on that anniversary, knowing that half your friends are fighting over fucking COVID? Motherfucking COVID.
Yeah.
Motherfucking racism. Did I say motherfuck? I did. And if you're really religious or conservative, I hope you understand it. I hope it penetrated the skull. Oh, I got to go. I hope the numbers drop to 2. Because you know what? The vulgarity that pushed me to that level isn't because I'm a vulgar person. It's because I see most people, when God comes back, if that's what you believe, then you better say, you know what, God, here's my report card. You don't have to look. You don't have to guess. I go, you know what? This is what I did. This is what I did. I've got evidence around me that even at my worst effing day, even if you don't like me and you think you're a badass or you're tough or you're cool or you got 16 cars and boats and you got 100 people going, yeah, fuck them and fuck that and fuck that and fuck that. I'm like, wow. How did you change the world? You didn't. You didn't. And if you know somebody like that, and if you aren't that person, and I believe, and when I say you, I mean anybody in general out there, because I know that there's a lot of people that see through there. I find that when I get all these friend requests, I don't know who they are. And that's how they watch me on public. They go through 4 or 5 portals from you to me, and then they want to see it. And then they wonder, like, how do I work? How do I know Chris Swanson? Because I said this as a proclamation years ago. And I said it to Donna many times when we started the radio station almost 10 years ago. And I've always thought it, without ever uttering these words, that a church or a corporation or a country club I've been to all of them. I'm a god at those places because they pay me to be there. Okay. What I mean by that is, it's like, oh yeah, I've been there. I've had all the food. I didn't have to spend $50,000 a year to get there. But you know what I do? I get up in the morning and I want to make sure that I find the best people in the world around me. Do you understand? If you find a self-help book or a motivational video on YouTube, or you go see Anthony Robbins or anything, you're going to emulate the best artist, teacher, athlete, entertain anybody. You're going to want to be like that person. You're not going to go, because there's always somebody who was an expert at what you did better. You're not going to go, well, that guy that struck out all the time that never made the bench, I'm going to be just like him. I want to be like the backup quarterback for Matthew Stafford. Who's the man? Who would that be? Because he has one. Who is it?
Oh, didn't he played last year when he got injured, right?
What's his name?
I think it starts with an H. I don't even
remember. Man. That really just stained your brain, didn't it? Wow. Yeah. Wow. Because you, like Chris Swanson, nobody knew him until the last couple days, but thousands of kids fill stadiums, and he's a cop. He's a cop in Flint. Now, how many people go, yeah, I know a cop in Flint. I know the sheriff of Genesee County, right? Let me tell you another story. When Julie Strasberg had her daughter, her son's girlfriend or fiance, had me come to the school in January. It was cold. I hadn't, a bunch of firefighters gave me some extra stuff. Linda helped me with this, these books to do. I mean, I went in there kind of like, God, I haven't done this in a long time. And it all came back to me. And I went out there. It was an inner city school down a kind of a dirt road. And I had to, I wheeled all this stuff in a cart. And you know what? It's funny. I told Chris, I said, hey, Chris, I'm going to be out in your neck of the woods. You know what Chris did? And it was, it's January. He's a busy guy, right? Busy guy. He just got promoted to the top sheriff of Flint, right? You know what he did? He came out, surprised me. He was in a suit. I showed a picture, and he gave the teacher, he started talking to all the kids, and he gave the one teacher, not the one that, brought me in, but another one. And she was an African-American lady, and he gave her a special coin. It's a commemorative coin. And then he gave me one. It's not something like they pick out of the pocket. These are something that they, have ceremonies for. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's like a big deal. And he came in there because he had that ability to do that. Now, that's not why we're friends, and that's not whatever. And that's a bonus that he did that. But he's one of the best people. Is he perfect? No. I mean, I'm not going to say, you know, things that, you know, might, but he's,
Nobody's perfect.
how many, right. But how many people do you wake up starting with yourself when you look in the mirror? I beat myself up so much every day that I go, I got to do this. So it's like when I got in the car, do I go? Do I really want to drive up there? Do I really want to go do this? Man, it's far. God, I'm going to pass Dante's, you know, oh, there's just so many things. And I started crying. I did. I go, God damn it. You know, and I, you know, and I'm like, you know, I don't want people to see that because it makes them feel awkward and uncomfortable at the very least, right? Doesn't it? It does. It sucks. But I go, you know, I got to do this. You know, and everyone's like, oh man, you might get killed. You might get rocks thrown at you. You might, you know, whatever. I mean, you know, it's what we assume, right? And it's like, I felt of all the places I've been, and I've been to some really nice places many times over, I felt like my soul was cleansed. Does that make sense? I felt like something got injected. I saw the light going through this guy, the sunlight, you know, and it reminded me of Dante. You've seen his pictures. I've never photoshopped the sunlight. That's a fact. And I felt like, you're here, aren't you? I didn't see any X's. I didn't see any pink, but it was a presence I felt. And maybe it's just my imagination. Maybe I'm just old. Maybe I don't sleep that much. So maybe I'm, you know, sometimes you get a little slap happy. But I tell you what, it made me feel good enough that when I drove home, I made a beeline off the road for about 6 miles because it's parallel, but it goes off. And I got to sit there, and that's when I went live again. And it was such a bad frequency that, you know, it kicked off me 4 times. But I had more people watching that video than the one I took in Flint. And I'm like, what did I say? What did I say? Because I, honest to God, I thought I was going to break down and just lose my total mind, Donna. I thought I was just going to lose my mind. But I wanted to inspire somebody out there. Because I know that if I can get up and get in my car tired and all the stress of, you know, COVID and, you know, the stuff in Minneapolis and all over Detroit and Grand Rapids, and my daughter's gone and my other daughter's I haven't seen in a week. I have all these things going through my head and I go, you know what? Here it is over here, ladies and gentlemen. You know that exists, but I'm going to come over here and try to be part of some magic today. And you know what? It's not that hard to change these kids. These kids out there, the ones that really need to see it, black or white, young or old, whatever, you know, let's figure out how to take the good ones and deal with that. Get the cops and the people together or whatever it takes, you know, like Chris did. Look at he's on CNN. He's on this one. He's on that one. He's on this one. He'll be on Fox News next, you know, so take your pick. He wasn't on national news before. Go ahead.
I hear something outside. I'll be right back.
Okay. If it's leave your mic. I hate when she does that. I want to hear you scream or something. You know, so I'm sorry for swearing the way I do sometimes, but I get enraged that, you know, all these things are happening. I got to deal with another family member and a funeral. And I don't know if we're going to have a funeral. I mean, no, things are lifted. I don't even know the rules anymore. My head is spinning. I read so fast, but I get like 20 messages from 20 different sources. Like, what's real anymore? Is this crazy? It's like getting 20 recipes to make cookies. It's like, I shouldn't have to do that. I shouldn't have to do that. You shouldn't have to do that. We shouldn't have to do that. What are these kids thinking? I mean, it's hard enough to be a married couple in a house with a good job and have you not, you know, kill each other and then raise your kids right and homeschooling. Now we're going to go back. I mean, those are the problems that we're supposed to be having at the very maximum, right? Now we have all this other stuff. What's going to happen? What's going to happen? The conversation tonight, honestly, and I mean this from the heart, wasn't to include anybody, but it allowed everybody. Does that make sense? It was like, I go, if we throw a party and it's just her and I'm good. But if there's somebody out there that registers inside of your heart and your soul, you know, of going, you know what? Maybe I do need to be more disciplined. Maybe I do need to more. Because if that old ugly ass guy can do it with all his, angst and anger and sadness and depression and all these other things. If he can do it, that sewer dweller over there, me, whatever you want to call me, because I'm in a basement. Every time we do this, I give it my best on my worst damn day. And you know this, Donna, and anybody else that knows there. I always give my best. I always give my, you don't see me going, and we've been around those people, and within an hour, like they're nice and happy. And then 2 hours later, they're like, man, like they got to go. So if I get a little bit, are you kidding me? What, girl,
What?
You got to stop.
I got scared for a minute.
Why?
No, because it sounded there's something banged down by my door.
What was it?
They're like two big, I don't know, but I'm not like I went downstairs. I looked out my window in my kitchen.
What's that? I think he's letting the other policeman part. Yeah. Well, you know what? And that's, like today I texted him and he didn't text me back. And I know why, because I knew that he's right now, he's a media sensation. And that's good. That message needs to be out there. I'm not going to distract him. I'm not part of that equation. I did it for my people or for my own people, whoever watches it. And a lot of people did share that. And I hope it gets out there, because it's not getting me any attention. I don't want any. I don't. I went out there for moral support. I wanted them to be, a former firefighter, tall guy. I don't know what they wanted, but he wanted me. I would have been there if he was raising cookies for a church. I would have done it. Okay. And that's just the way I am. And I think that's the way most people. Am I always available for everybody? No, it's impossible. Trust me. I hate to tell you, it's impossible. I'm not ubiquitous. I said that a long time ago. Somebody goes, "What's ubiquitous mean?" I go, "Omnipotent." I go, and then they got all mad at me. It says, means I can't be everywhere at once. I really can't. And somebody I had 4 people today texting me, and I'm thinking, I'm sorry, I'm getting more texts right now. And I'm going to tell you right now that this is your job as much as mine. To be a good human being as best you can, even at your worst. That's my message. Just like Chris Swanson. Do you think he woke up one day and goes, you know what? I'm going to go out there and take off all my riot gear and my Kevlar vest, to stop bullets from penetrating my chest? Because he's a married man and he's got kids my son's age. He does. And, so he has to go home, hopefully. And when he does, and he takes it off to a very angry crowd in what's known to be, not always a nice city. And like Donna said earlier, they may have reasons to be good or bad, but not one person said, I think Flint's been through enough. I think they're going to be they're going to receive you with open arms. I didn't get one text like that last night. Not one, Donna. Like, they going, do you have like a helmet? Right.
I know. By the time I saw your messages, I think I took a nap and woke up really late. You were like already home, I think, when I talked to you.
Yeah. See, we're the opposite. She's like Rip Van Winkle, and I'm like, let her rip.
My sleeping schedule, like when the Rona started, I was getting up early, going to Rona. I know, and now it's like
Flash.
Everything out the window.
Out the window. Oh my God. So, is it really 12:21?
Yeah, Pam.
Oh my God.
Police.
What?
Pam told me to call the police because of the stuff I heard outside my door.
Nah.
No, I'll be fine.
I probably, I have like at least 2 or 3 reasons why probably some people go, oh, he swore like crazy.
Well, because you get on me about swearing. One.
But it takes a lot for me to swear.
Exactly.
But
you're passionate about what you were saying.
I see a lot of people saying some really.
You didn't say it unnecessarily, in a sense. I
see a lot of people, and I can take the people I never met, but I see people out there, and then not all of them are on my Facebook. I don't
have a basement, Tina.
Everyone has a basement. Chris, yours is decorated nice.
I don't have a basement.
Yeah. So actually, I made a mobile wall, like an acoustic foam wall. it rolls up. I had all these really nice white sheets, right? And I had all that foam from the last studio. Remember how I had it mounted on the wall in the ceiling? And we carefully took it all down, and I took some liquid glue, and I created my own grommets. So I hung the grommets on nails because, you know, on the joist of the wood, you know, you can just, and it's really cool. And you can wrap it around. You can take it to a hotel. You can put it in a thing, so you can make your own studio, indoor, outside, whatever, right?
Or a soundproof room for something else.
Well, it absorbs all the echo and the feedback. That's why they had that. What do you think they have it for?
You didn't
So you can bounce off the walls?
I was
You know? For looks. It looks good, doesn't it?
soundproof. Take it and put it in a hotel. Soundproof your hotel.
What's wrong with you?
I'm probably, well, what do you think I'm thinking about?
I don't know. You know, tonight I can't read your mind. You know, I don't know. So anyway, see how I got the foam here? Got the screen too. Does it sound good?
I don't know what that screen does.
Huh? So we're still not sure when or what we're going to do as far as the format of it all. You know, I thought honestly when I did this in January, February, March, I thought, oh, you said a joke? What did you say? Did it go over my head? Did I miss it? Did I miss it? Did I miss it? You know what? Hey, knock, knock. See? What?
No.
Anyway, we really want to get people on here to talk. I'm gonna see if I can get Chris on here. I was trying to get Michael J. Stuhler, aka Michael J. Fox. He said he might come on. I want to get on who else can we bring on? I want to bring on people that can talk about things that, and I'm not talking just the guests that we have, the normal people. I really want to get some people that have had, like Chris shook the world today or yesterday and the day before. I don't know if he went out tonight, but whether he did or didn't, I know that Flint is not on the spectrum right now. And I think that the word
they are, but they're not
of destruction.
Yes, for the same reasons as the other.
Right. And I can tell you right now, he didn't just get down on one knee. He was walking. They were like, you know, you see how these young kids trying to catch up to him. He's walking, you know, real fast. Come on, catch up, guys. You know, it's like, I'm like, oh my God.
I would have had to take like many.
Kids look like track stars going, dear God, oh, hold on, oh, geez, oh, you know, it was
I would have had to take so many breaks.
Yeah, and then like, when we got back, I thought we were done, right? He goes, no, come on, let's keep going. Like, let's go down here. Let's go to.
And you're like,
oh,
I can't do no more. My knee.
Yeah, my knee. Well, I just didn't know. You know, I was like, okay, well, you know, I mean, like.
I didn't bring my walking shoes.
Yeah, like, okay, looks like, I mean, am I going to see like the morning dawn or something? You know, I didn't know. I don't know. I was like, and then I waited around a little bit. I was talking to some of the police officers.
Cool that you did go down there, and the experience was a good experience for you.
Yeah. Well, you know, I've been, like I said, I have good experience with all kinds of people. And the other good part about knowing a lot of people in diversity is I know a lot of people that think they're good and they're not. And then I've met so there's not just one, you know, I said there's two categories. I was wrong. There's the ones you just don't know. And
yeah.
And then there's people that have been put in circumstances that reveal their true colors of how they do that. And I said that at the very beginning of this, even with the coronavirus, whether it's real or not, there's a lot of people that have been sick. I've got my brother's mother-in-law, Rose, you know, she's, you know, I think she's been whatever. She's gone through a lot. I've known other people that are going through stuff. I know my friend Lisa, her dad, you know, has got, you know, he's got heart issues. I mean, he had double something the other day. You know, I'm trying to even remember, but she texted me this morning. I know people that are going through some. Pam lost somebody, you know, close the other day, you know, and everybody's going through something. That, I mean, first and foremost, that's life, right? That's first and foremost. So I don't really try to make light of life and death. And then when I say the things I do, I don't have an answer, but I don't want to not have a soft answer anymore for it, because I don't understand how we can't figure simple things out. We're human beings, meaning like we're not, if all of a sudden half our species grew 3 eyes and 4 legs, then we'd have like, okay, how do we deal with that? Right. You have to buy more tennis shoes, I guess, right? That'd be one solution, and weird glasses like Prince used to have. But what I'm saying is that you have to look at, okay, we're stuck in this island called the United States. And we got 50 different places to go. And 2 of them aren't even connected. Well, actually 3 if you count Puerto Rico, And okay, so we're the only country where there's, like, if you go to one particular country, you're going to see people from all different races and religions, but not like here. We're kind of like we're Skittles. We're like the big thing of M&Ms. We got every color known to man. And not everybody's going to like the green ones or the brown ones or whatever they are. Just like, like when you get Halloween candy, what's candy corn? It tastes like,
or like Starburst.
What?
Or Starburst.
Right. You get like the orange and strawberries are good. You probably like the lemon ones. I hate those. Which ones do you hate?
I like the red and the pink ones.
Yeah. Okay. The pink one's kind of like, what's that? Like pink lemonade or something? It's kind of soury. Anyway, I don't need that much candy anymore. I'm just trying to go by memory. But you're right. But you know what?
A pack of Starburst.
You can't go inside the store and go. You can't break open the Starburst open. Like you can, like with oranges, you can go and like switch out the bad oranges with the good oranges. Like in the produce aisle. But you got to take it and you got to go. Okay, I'm stuck. We are the Starburst. You got to take the whole thing or nothing. And then when you get home, you may. I think most people, they go, hey, here's the pink, here's the one I don't like, but you don't tell them that.
I used to do that.
You're very generous with the ones you didn't like.
Yep.
Well, that's kind of the point. You have to go, okay, now there's an argument with red and pink is the best of Starburst. Okay, that's cool. They stick to your teeth. And then you got, and then you can't, I don't know. I don't like that. Like Laffy Taffy. Then you have to break that, and then you would stick your teeth. And then if you were lucky, you're like, one tooth would come out. And then you're like, wait, that's not my baby tooth. Oh no!
But look, they're all pink.
See, I like the orange ones. I'm
all reds.
Kill myself. All right. Anyway,
bought them for me.
Who bought them for you?
A friend of mine bought them for me.
I'm coming with really bad analogies because you're killing me here. But
Jolly Ranchers too.
Well, like I said the other day, the nightclubs.
I like the watermelon Jolly Rancher and the apple only. And then like blow pops, I only like the watermelon.
You know what ones were the worst? They tore up your mouth.
What?
They were called Now or Laters.
Oh, I don't like those. Those are so hard.
Yeah, and they would cut your mouth because they're like hard squares.
Yeah.
And then you it was like this. It was eating like crazy guy. Right? What's your favorite candy? You remember, who remembers Bub's Daddies? Those long gum. They don't make them anymore. They can't find them anywhere. I try to find them on Amazon.
I don't remember those.
They were gum. You could get them for like 2 cents and a nickel.
I used to like Sprees for some reason. Remember Sprees?
You know what I didn't like, and then I liked them later, was those Chunkies. Remember they had the razor? Yeah. What was a good one? Rolos. Those are kind of good. You're like, I don't like Rolos. They got the gold wrapping. They're like a tube.
Yeah, but I love caramel. The only thing is
they were good.
I don't eat chocolate because I don't like chocolate. I know. I don't like chocolate. But I love caramel. And the only time I can eat chocolate, one, is something else is mostly the other thing and very little chocolate. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no. You're right. Okay, that's fine. I used to love chocolate. I used to eat Snickers, but I was like crazy. I can't eat them anymore. I have one bite and I'm good. And I go, reminds me of, younger days and delicious and all that. You know what I hate?
I wish they still had. Do you remember O'Grady's potato chips?
I tried those. You liked those, didn't you?
I loved them when I was
hated Better Made. Better Made suck. They don't even taste like real potato chips.
No, O'Grady's back, like they stopped making them in the 80s, I think, or in the 90s.
They had Ray's. Well, no, what was I going to say? There was a candy or something. I forgot. Well, anyway, we're going on top. Yeah, and you guys can keep talking about that. Red wine licorice. Who said it? Vincent
Red
aside.
wine.
Bub's Daddies. Peanut M&Ms. You know what?
Ooh, I love peanut M&Ms.
You know, when I was a kid, I hated them because I just, I didn't like the yellow bag. And then one day I just go, I'll try it. And I was like, man, I was missing out. I got Snickers
in my freezer right now.
You know, those are good too, but you know what? That's another one. Ah, damn it. You know what I mean? You can injure yourself with these, little,
some of the
candies. Do you remember Warheads? I have heard of those. I've heard of those. You know what really? I had them one time, like one or two of them, and they used to have a commercial. That Charlie said, good and plenty. Remember that one? Good and plenty.
Yeah.
And it was like pink and white, black box. And they were like black licorice and some candy. They were so horrible. Gross. I was like, and then they always did that commercial. It was like, Charlie said, choo choo. And he's like, oh. I was like, these suck. I was like, those are the kind you keep in your car. And if you're road raging, you throw them out the window at somebody.
I used to, when you're younger and you're going trick or treating.
Don't ever do that, kids. That was just kidding.
When you were younger and you went trick or treating, when you got home and had a bunch of good and plenties, you were like,
what? Oh my God. It's like red licorice. I can only handle a little bit of it. But you like what are they called? They call them Swizzles now, or Swizzlers, or what do they call those things? My kids like
Twizzlers.
Twizzlers. Are they licorice? Licorice. Horrible. I don't know what that is. But anyway, that's how we should treat people, like candy. You get your. That's why I told my kids this, and I've said this before. I think you've heard me say it. I either said it with or without you at the very beginning. I treat people like flavors. You know what I mean? Like a menu. And like you said, you may not like chocolate, you may not like vanilla, but you figure a flavor out, and that's what you have to do. Now, it isn't like we haven't had most of the cultures inside of this country for a long time, pretty much for a long time. So why can't we fix that? We can modernize medicine to a degree. We can't fix everything. We can't even fix a flu, right? Old or new. But we find ways, like cancer. We've learned to deal with it. Technology. Not everybody likes chemotherapy. I've never had it, but I've heard it's not great. Then there's other, there's homeopathic, there's diet. You find ways to deal with what you may or may not want to live with. But to survive is the ultimate result of why we do everything, right? Even prisoners, war prisoners, they stayed alive. Holocaust survivors, they stayed alive. And I used to sit there and think, I can't tell you how many times I thought to myself, if I got trapped in that kind of situation, I would just off myself. Have you ever thought, like, if I ever went to jail, you would just like whatever? Yet people live in those conditions, and I'm thinking, God, you'd have to use the bathroom in a stainless steel basin and share it with somebody else. And, and the lights are always on and you don't know what time it is. You don't have any TV. It's like your brain must go like off haywire, but you adapt and you adjust. What's that? The dots on the paper you pick off. Oh my God. You know what I hated about those things? Because they're like pastel color, pink, yellow, green. I remember you're talking about. And then you would eat them off the paper, like a big, like a roll of paper, right?
Yeah.
And then you would eat half the paper. Yeah, right? Did you eat the paper? You guys ate the paper, right?
I don't think I ever ate those before.
Smarties, Charm Pops, what? Okay. Well, there you go. Charms were the bomb. Charm Pops were the bomb. I didn't have a Charm Pop.
Was a Charm Pop? Is that like the ring pop thing?
Oh, yeah. I never liked the jewelry candy. Oh, what about candy cigarettes? Did you have candy cigarettes?
No, they were gum. It was
right. When you blow the sugar off,
the powdered sugar.
Yeah, right. Yeah, you got one shot at it. Here's something weird. All right, weird this time.
But the great thing is that was a candy aimed at kids about smoking.
Well, back then it was cool, right?
Hey, man. It was, yeah.
Nicotine is your friend.
That's why I smoke.
Oh my God. Oh, remember that vitamin Chalks? Who remember that Chalk? Oh, you know what are the worst vitamins ever? Flintstone vitamins. You think, oh, Fred and Barney. And then you chew them and it's like terrible. Get out of here with that. I'd rather die. I mean, I don't know. It was horrible. So I want to apologize.
Cigars. I remember that.
Oh yeah, the plastic wrapper and then the little gold
Oh my
band on
God,
it.
do you imagine if they still made the
I'm
candy cigarettes and the bubblegum cigars?
I'm surprised they don't sell edible adult candy to kids. I don't even understand. Check it out.
Like, if you think about some of the stuff that we had back then, that like it really they shouldn't have made that. I mean, come on.
I know. That's why they're all hooked on
Oh,
stuff.
it was so wrong. Like looking back on it now, like I wonder what else we can come up with that they made back when we were younger, even when you were younger, that was just so not right. Like,
Yeah,
can you imagine a company coming out with like cigarettes at this point in time?
Yeah, I bet you there's a million things we could
Look up and find. Oh my God.
what has come and gone? There's been a lot of stuff that come. Oh, I know what I was gonna say. I used to love the smell of the Twinkie. Did you ever do that? Was there ever a thing you ever like smelled it and it smelled so good you didn't even eat it?
What's really weird is I've never really been a big sweets person.
No, but when I was a kid, I remember taking the wrapper off and I would smell the whole thing. It's like when you get paper. You ever had like paper in school and it had a weird smell to it when you on your first day of school? It had that really weird. I don't know. Certain things had like weird smells, but you know what happened? They started using a hydrogenated oil or something like that, and they changed.
Oh, kind of like how you
flavor.
smell gas when you're at the gas station and you get gas on your hand.
And you like the smell.
And you like the smell. Like it's
Yeah,
weird.
but and you can't get rid of it, Yeah, it's weird. Now I'm used to bleach because I got bleach everywhere all the time. They had shredded. Oh yeah, you know what? My kid liked that. He liked the baseball. Dante liked the.
They had the Big League Chew in the shredded form, right?
Yeah, but he had it in a packet. It wasn't in a tin. They put it.
Yeah, but I think they also. I'm assuming they also, if they had it in the tin cans, then it was chewing tobacco. Oh my God, it's so wrong.
Man, we just. Who invented that stuff back then?
I don't know.
You know what I mean?
Did Marlboro make it?
Probably, yeah, Marlboro, yeah. Oh my God. Let's see, Lick-A-Maid. What's Lick-A-Maid?
Those candy sticks with the colored sugar. Oh, Fun Dips.
Oh yeah, my daughter liked that
candy
too.
Sticks, and you dipped them in the powder.
We had that at Toys R Us when right before they went out of business. Sophia liked that. She like, Dad, can I get that? I'm like, and one thing I learned is that my kid eats. Sophia doesn't eat like a lot of healthy food. I wish she did, and but I was the same way. And then by the time I hit 14, I shifted my whole diet. I look at Fun Dip, Dots. What was another one? Horrible. I can't remember. Yeah, I'm trying to remember. Let's see, Snickers, M&Ms. Those are my go-tos. I can't think of anything else.
Pixie Sticks.
I didn't like Musketeers as much. They were kind of too milky, like too foamy.
Yeah.
I never liked Kit Kats. Never ever liked.
Really? You know what? Okay, so I don't like chocolate, but the two candy bars that I could, three candy bars I could go to. One was Kit Kat, but now they make white chocolate Kit Kats, so I'm all about that.
Almond Joys are good. I love Almond Joy.
The second one is Snickers. I could do that because there wasn't a lot of chocolate and there was a bunch of other stuff in it.
Mm-hmm.
And then the third one was the third one's a newer one. It's not even old. It's those Ghirardelli caramel ones.
Ghirardelli's pretty good, but some of them are too rich.
Oh,
I can tell you my favorite.
Only do the caramel ones.
Okay, one more candy and then I'm done with it. You guys can keep talking about it if you want.
$1 million bar?
I was hit and miss on those. I know what they're talking about. It was a red wrapper.
Is it
$100,000 bar? It wasn't $1 million. It was $100,000 bar.
Nestle
Crunch. You know what I liked was the Nestle Crunch ice cream bar or the toffee. Yeah, like that.
Yeah. I have Snickers ice cream bars and Twix ice cream bars in my freezer.
I forgot what I was going to tell you. There was a candy that I liked. Oh, let me just get it out. Brock's. I was working at a supermarket for like 4 years, and this lady would buy Brock's, and I thought Brock's was like, they had like the grandma. It was like grandma candy,
like old people candy.
Right. I was like, what was that thing? You unwrap it, and it was like caramel, and then a white thing in the middle. And it was like, oh, and then I was like, oh, it sucks.
Yeah.
You have to eat around it, right?
My
It's like,
parents used to get those
you know
all
what I'm talking about?
Christmas and
They
stuff.
suck. Don't they suck?
And they
They
had
suck.
like a candy jar and they throw it all in the candy jar, just like those white things with the green and the red things, and there was a Christmas tree in the middle. And they were
Yeah. What? Like, who thinks of that stuff? It's like, let's make the worst candy ever. And make it it's festive.
and they taste like mint or something. They were like,
Yeah, oh my God, they put a little pumpkin head on it. Ah, you know, I was like, get out of here.
oh, but
No.
you know what? I do like candy corns. I don't know.
One year I forced myself to be on and I got used to it because that's all that was left. I'm like, you know, I was probably 10. And I was like, yeah, this is good, it's good. And then I tried to eat it. Oh, I want to talk about Brock's, but remember who remembers this on Halloween? It was famous for years. They came in an orange and a black wrapper. You know, the twisty wrappers? It was almost like wax paper.
Is it hard candy?
It was kind of like, and when you open it, it was like cream color. It was like it wasn't a caramel, but it was kind of like it. It was like really nasty.
I think I know what you're talking about.
It's like, okay, I'm supposed to like this. It's kind of sweet. It's kind of sweet. It's like, but it's candy.
Oh.
And then I opened the black one. I'm like, I know. I can't make it past the orange. That's taffy. Horrible peanut butter things. That's the correct answer. Ding, 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 ding. Yeah, they were horrible. She's right. It was like honey meets peanut butter meets taffy meets animal crap. It was just so bad.
I know what you're talking about.
And then you have to think about it. If you really think about it, like I do, because when you're a kid, you kind of just throw everything behind you is behind you, right? But you're thinking, God, I slipped on. I had to climb that step. I had to go through the lawn. My feet got all wet because it was raining to get that crap candy. You know how you have to like make that long, trek to get to somebody's house.
Do they still check people's candy anymore?
Hell no.
I remember that my parents I couldn't touch any of the candy until we went to the fire department.
Oh my God. Well, because there was a rumor that somebody had a razor and an apple. Well, first let me help you. I don't think in the history of Halloween anybody's ever gotten an apple and said, yay. You know what I mean? Wow. Oh, is that apple leaking? Why is there a little cut there? Why is it so? Is that metal? Who came up with that? That's an urban legend, I think. That was an urban legend. Like, oh, okay, all right, kids. If you get any fruit, my kids.
They had me check. They had to check all my candy.
Like who's injecting anything? Remember years ago they did something. They tainted like Tylenol or something. That was like 30 years ago. You never hear that anymore. And now it's like you got to do special things to get things open. Like, you know what my kids always do to me? Even Sabrina, she'll go like peanut butter jars or pickle jar or something. She'll go, here, Dad. You're like, I'm the human opener. I'm like, you know what I mean? And it's whatever. But that's you got to open up all kinds of. It's like Get Smart. You have to open like 16 different things just to get to whatever you like. I had a headache, but now I don't have a headache because I got to, you know what I mean? The cotton. This freaking cotton won't come out. It's like, and you cut your finger and your thumb gets twisted up. It's like, oh my God, I need an aspirin just to get through this pain of this opening the Tylenol. I'm like, what the hell is wrong with this thing?
I not only have a headache now, but now I have to get the Neosporin now.
Hey, can I help you?
For my God.
I'm prepared. Oh man, this is better than chapstick because I have this bad habit. I sometimes pick the skin on my lips. I've been doing this since I was a kid. It's like my dumb habit, and it's like I do this, take a little tiny dab, and man, it's like brand new. I got a brand new lip.
Anyway, your Brock's. I wanted to hear that story.
Oh, okay. Ready? Okay, here goes. So, all right. So I was working at the supermarket and I seen this lady come in and she was always getting Brock's candy. And she goes, and one day I said to her, she goes, would you like some candy? And she was like, it was one of those things because, they had like bags full of candy that were wrapped, right?
Candy from strangers.
It was in the supermarket. She was going to open it coming through.
Just messing with you.
I don't care. Listen, it'd fall on the floor. I'd eat it. Like, oh, nice dog. I pet the dog. Is that good? But anyway, so what happened? So she had this one thing of peanut or chocolate peanut clusters, Brock's chocolate peanut clusters, right? And I'm going, and I'm thinking, it can't be that good because I've had other Brock's candies at my grandma's house, right? And it was like, you know what I mean? It's like, I'd rather eat like, the worst experience you could ever have. I'm gonna let me give you the worst. You're gonna laugh on the next one, but it's funny because you guys know what I'm talking about. Some of you, because they don't make them anymore, I don't think. But anyway, so she opens up the Brock's chocolate and she goes, here, try one. And I reach in and I put it in. It was the greatest chocolate. So I would work at there and I would always get it. And, back then the bags were huge. Now they're like, tiny and they get like 3 of them for like $9. But back then it was like $2 for like 30 of them. So, or maybe more, I don't know. So I took it to school one time and I was eating it on my locker and I had yogurt and tuna fish and my vitamins because I had a little I had like my health food store at my high school, right? And they'd always tease me with that. Well, one day they saw me eating candy. They go, is that candy? They go, is that chocolate? I go, yeah. I go, well, peanut, chocolate and peanut butter, whatever. So, and they go, here. Next thing, I had a line. Everybody wanted, they're like, do you have any more? So next thing, I brought 2 bags. Next thing, people are like, whatever. Nobody's paying me. You know what I mean? Nobody's paying me. And for years to this day, Kroger's has their own version of it. They're like, you can get 10 for $10. And, you get like maybe, 8 or 9 of them. And I can only eat one, like if that per, every other 4 or 5 days. But man, when I eat it, it's so good. Kroger's actually has a good version of it. But what was the one? Oh, so one day, this happened to me twice. I was trying to, I got up, I was a kid, I was probably 9 years old, and I climbed up on the thing and we ran out of candy or something. I was looking, how you get hungry and you're like looking for something to eat, right? So guess what happens? So I got 2 stories, okay? And you're probably going to relate to any one of these. Any of you guys are, okay? Yeah, trust me. And I see, ooh, Hershey's, and it says something cocoa or chocolate, whatever. And I'm like, oh, and I grab it and I'm so happy and I sneak it upstairs and there's, I'm not near a bathroom. I don't have any water or anything like that. And I'm eating. It was baking chocolate. The baking chocolate?
The powder?
No, it's like unsweetened.
Oh, the unsweetened chocolate you cook with.
Yeah. I was like, well, and I didn't have a napkin. I didn't have anything. I'm like, oh my God. No, it wasn't powder. It was actually it looked like candy. It looked like a candy bar.
The bars, yeah.
I got one better. While you guys are processing that. So I'm in the bathroom. And as your kid, you can't really reach into the, whatever. And I used to see all this stuff in there. Like, there was Pepto-Bismol. One time I drank it and I was like, oh, whatever. And then you have a little, whatever. And I just took a little sip. So one day I see my grandfather and he's thinking, bless you. Say bless you guys. So here's the funny thing. Okay. So I'm sitting there. My grandfather's over. This is when I was living in Detroit. He lived right across the street, him and my grandmother. So I see it. Next thing you know, I'm over their house because my mom and dad went away for a couple of days. And I'm thinking I'm being sneaky. I'm going, I think they're hiding out on me, right? Like holding it back on candy. Because I see this blue little package. And my grandfather, you know where I'm going with this? My grandfather used to pull out this little tiny thing, and it was like tinfoil, right? And it was like, whatever. And it had like, how they're like little tiny candies. And I opened one. I take like 2 or 3, and I ate one, and then I ate another one. I was like, it was chocolate, right? In the bathroom. Like, why is there chocolate hidden in the bathroom? You know what it was? It was X-Lax. Worst day of my life. I swear to God. I was like, I didn't swear as a kid, but man, if I could have, maybe a little F-bomb episode I just had, forget it. I was like, something ain't right. I've never told that story ever. Never. It would have been a story I would have saved for Dante and Sabrina, or who, you know what I mean? Because they go, Dad, you got more stories than anybody. And I go, kids. And then, years later, because they'd meet all my friends, I go, no, everything he says is true. And I mean, why would he tell that story?
Oh my God.
I was like so in heaven. I sabotaged myself. Why am I still here? Why am I still here? Why? No, seriously, why?
I could imagine doing that. Look at Pam. Pam put emoji.
All right, enough. Wait, block her. Can we block her? It was crazy. It's almost 1:00. All right, we're gonna get off in like 6 minutes, 7 minutes. I didn't think this conversation was gonna go to midnight, to be honest with you. So
We're
oh
having
my God.
fun.
It
Why
was like a pretty wrapper. It was blue, and red, or what color was that thing? What? Oh my God! Did you stop, Pam? Enough with Pam. I just remember they only had one bathroom in that house. You know, that's all I remember. Oh my God! It was like that was just not right.
Did you tell them that you took that?
I think they knew because my grandfather's going. He called me Chrissy. He goes, I think Chrissy. He goes, it's not candy. Like,
Oh, he probably noticed some missing.
what?
He probably noticed some were missing.
I couldn't even tell it so because I don't know who's watching right now. And then besides Pam and Linda. And it was like, you know what? And I'm like, oh, and then now I'm gonna share that story. And now I get that for like a gift. You know what I mean? Or baking cocoa, whatever the hell it was. I was like, but it looks so, you know, they it's when you're a kid, it looks like it's packaged right.
Like
You
the
know,
Tide Pods.
Oh, what else? I mean, what else is there? You know, I mean,
Like, wait, hold on. Why
like,
did they package laxatives like chocolate? Do they make
chocolate flavored? No, they really had chocolate flavored laxative.
Do they
It was
still
chocolate-
make them?
Ask the girls. Chocolate flavor wasn't there? They let you Google it. It's crazy. You got to Google it. Is there anybody dead? Anybody getting killed? National Guard going crazy yet? Give me something good.
Oakland.
Tell me something good. You know what? That camera is really good. I can see Captain America really good. Over my right here. Oops, not right there. Yes, in fact, I think I have some straight from the box.
X-Lax.
Oh
it
my God!
Chocolates.
I was a kid. I was hungry. You know, come on. That's probably why I don't like candy that much anymore. I probably have that. You know. You know what's funny? I used to love the smell of Fritos. You know, because you're like I like Fritos. I still like them, right?
I don't like
funny.
Fritos.
You know what's funny? Okay, now this is the last bad one. I don't know if it's bad, but it's not. Is it me or like Fritos has a particular corn chip smell, right? It kind of smells like feet.
I think it smells like pet paws.
Okay, feet, pet paw, potato, pet paw. I mean, you know, whatever. Oh my God! But I still like them. You know, they still make them the same way. And there's almost like a, I know they got like a lot of salt, but they're actually kind of pretty good. But I go, somebody smell them, and I'd be at like at somewhere in the summertime, like somewhere like, is that Fritos? I used to do that. Like some girl would come up and request a song, and she'd be all like, mean about it. She says, play something good. And I go, what would you like to hear? Something good. What do you got? I go, oh, well, no, this sucks. What do you got? Come on, And then my buddy's standing right next to me and goes, like, they're looking at me like, how are you going to handle this? I go, is that Fritos? Or is that your feet? And then, never saw her again. I go, what do you come back? Apple bottom jeans? Sure, no problem. Whatever. That's like, whatever. Oh, man.
Oh, I forgot about
I know I'm mean. Am I mean? I'm not mean.
No, but it's gotta be annoying for a DJ though, especially half the people that don't even know like what song it is.
What's that? Oh, you said it smells like Frito feet. Yeah.
And then they try to like explain what the song is, but they don't know the artist. They don't know the
tone.
Oh
yeah, and they go, well, it's like when we do the karaoke thing. I kind of know it. The wind is moving.
I mean, at least if you're gonna try to request a song, which if you're gonna
try to get the lyrics right, they go, that song? It's on the radio. I go,
know the name of the song at least.
What station? That station, the best station. I go, oh, okay. I go, can't you go find a guy? He's over there looking at you. Oh, he winked at you. Like, really? Oh, I gotta go. Something like that. Oh my God. I'm probably gonna get a lot of hate mail now. Like who'd mail me anything? Let's see what else. Oh, my fog machine. Why is this going on? Hold on, let me turn this off. It ain't like we're having a musical guest night. So, okay. Well, why don't we try to recruit somebody if we do something? Because you and I can just talk about anything. We can come up with 50 subjects all night long, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's got to be better than what's on the news, which, by the way, even if, I mean, it's not like we're dragging anybody away from your TV, because if you have a phone or a TV in your room, you know that you can watch two or, whatever you're
Well, I
watching.
mean, I got CNN on right now.
What's happening? You
It's
watching the fake news channel?
I don't know what's fake news and what's not.
I know you don't. I know. Go to Fox. They'll give you the real deal. Come on, hurry up. Move.
Are
My
you
girl's
serious?
No, I don't know. I'm just kidding. I want to play all sides because I got to win. I got to win the love back now that I
shows me what's going on. I don't really care what the people say on the news channels. I just want to see the actual live footage so I can see for myself
what's going
on.
That's the one thing I can honestly say is that the one thing is that I can testify to is that unless it's a video recording like on YouTube or something that's posted, like if you're watching it live, it's hard for somebody to go, they're photoshopping that or they're altering it, right?
Yeah.
And plus, if you go like surfing to different channels and different things, because you got like 6 or 7 channels, right? You got 6 or 7, WXYZ, DIV, or whatever your local stations are, and so that's kind of you can't. And that again, it's like Starburst. You got to have like a whole bunch of them, and one of them is going to be a sour.
When we were on the other day when we were talking on the phone, we were switching from. Well, I was switching from CNN to MSNBC, and you were switching from Fox to CNN.
Right. Yeah, I mean, let's see. I'm okay. Oh crap. So, yeah, I just put on Fox, so you can tell me CNN.
Well,
what is getting late? I know you and I will talk forever. Hey, if anybody wants to come on tomorrow night, should we just bring like 3 or 4 people on just for the hell of it?
Maybe.
Let's do it. Want to do that? It'll be what can we call it? What can we call it? But you got to be now. If you don't have something interesting to say within 10 minutes or less, we click you off and we bring somebody else on. Unless we have like 3 people. All right. So we won't make it a serious night tomorrow. I mean, we could talk serious stuff, but we won't make it like a particular thing because like for example, like if Vincent comes on and we'll give you a better night to do a whole interview or something. But like tomorrow, if we can get like a bunch of people on it. And if they suck, what happens? So let's say like, I'm having a good conversation. I'm rolling. Everything's good. Of course, I'm always, spot on and, a genius. But anyway, then I can do that to her.
I have a question for everyone. Going back onto the candy and food area.
Oh, here we go.
Did Girl Scout cookies get smaller? Because I remember
and more expensive, and they taste like crap.
I remember them being bigger.
Girl Scout cookies.
When I was younger. I just need to know is it just me or did they get smaller?
I don't know. Well, I don't even like them. I used to love Thin Mints. What did he say? You should think of hypothetical questions. You mean we haven't?
I know, right?
I'm like, we weren't gonna. I mean, did you even think
we almost weren't
candy
gonna go
or X-Lax? We could have. What's your favorite laxative? Hypothetically, would you take kaopectate or just kidding? No.
I mean, I see what Vinny's saying.
No, I know. I'm messing with Vinny. I know that. You guys know you had what tonight? You had X-Lax?
Are smaller. Well, I used to like the Samoa ones.
Oh yeah. Those aren't bad. You know what ones I didn't like as a kid, but then I kind of grew in them a little bit because the chocolate didn't taste chocolate. It was the peanut butter ones. The chocolate outside wasn't really good.
My dad loved peanut butter. Anything peanut butter, he loved. He loved those ones.
Yeah. By the way, to the regulars out there, and this goes for, if I'm being sarcastic or pick on you guys, it's, it's just for play and fun. And you guys obviously can make comments because I shouldn't tell you, but we're not really, we don't know how to block the comments. You know what I mean? Because we hear and I go like, can you block the comments? Can you block the comments?
The best ice cream from the ice cream man ever was the Wrestler ice cream bar. You guys are making me hungry. Hey, Vinny, Vinny, did you see that Owen Hart thing?
What happened with Owen Hart?
He died. He's the one who was like
that was a long time ago. Yeah.
Well, they did a whole like a documentary type of thing, like his last days and about what happened to him and everything.
Right.
And I actually watched it the other day.
Was it good?
It's good. Hey, Vinny, if you have Comcast, go on Vice. I think it's called Vice TV or Viceland or something, and it should be on demand. And it's like the story of Owen Hart or something like that. It was pretty good.
I'll tell you what, tomorrow night I'm going to make a little decision here. Okay, just for the handful of people that are on, and you can share it. And I'm going to roll the dice because it's probably, I hate to say this, and I think Donna would secretly agree with me. She'll probably text me, secretly. But like we want to bring in. No, I'm just I'm kind of being funny about it. But I want to bring on some of you guys, and some of you guys for 2 minutes, some of you for maybe 10 or 20, depending on what's up. But I really am. My primary focus is to bring people like a Chris Swanson or Neil Rockhine, or and anybody, young or old, man or woman, locally or not, that can talk about particular subjects that we haven't really talked about, because that's the life force of how I continue to exist in my head. I don't know about you guys, but the thing is that and it can be simple stuff like what we're talking about, because this is the spice of life. Whether you're drinking or you're up north or you're talking whatever, it's the fun stuff in life that you have to look back at, because your memories, regardless of if we're going back 50 years, 40 years, 10 years, 2 years, because you can think about 100 things from the last 2 or 3 years that you go, wow, that song came and went, or man, yeah, I remember when they brought that out and I thought it was gonna be a big deal. Or yeah, that TV show did start somebody, because you know what? Then it sparks more information and more conversation. And at the very least, and I'm convinced of this 100%, not just for me, not just for Dawn, but I think for anybody that's truly listening, that because you can go on and do whatever you want to do. You can wash clothes or bake cookies until 3 a.m. or go to sleep, but you can also find a place to talk about something pleasant above and beyond what you see in front of you on the side wall. Like I got news channels going on. She's got news channels. You see it, your phone's getting blown up, your Facebook, your Instagram, you're getting messages, good and bad. And the anxiety and the stress and the questions like, wow, is this, all these different things. When's this going to end? When's my store going to open up? When can I go back to work? When's this, protesting / riot or parade going to end? These are the things that I think that, and I don't speak on behalf of everybody out there, but just from what I've gathered, that there isn't really too many forums. And if there are, or you make one on your own, I'm all about it. Just like we were talking about Chris Swanson. He could sit there and go, I'm going to trademark cops and kids together. That's not how the best people in the world roll. And when I do those things, I try to be like the best people, like Donna tries to be like the best people. And that's like, we share that, just like you guys are sharing your experiences. That's funny. I'm glad you guys are talking about stuff like that. I really am. Because at the very least, then our money's well spent. It is, because to keep human beings happy, you wouldn't believe how many people I run into that I've helped out or done things for or said nice things to in the past. I can't even remember what I said or did. I don't. And then they've turned around and done nice things since my son has died, or since this whole stuff has started, because those are the things that keep me alive. The element, I always say I can be by myself, but I'm not going to lie. Here's a little secret. It's nice. It's nice. Like, honest to God. I mean, this is the best example I can give you right here. This was sitting in an envelope for at least 2 weeks. See this thing? I showed it to you already. I mean, I hope I don't ruin it, but I wanted you guys to see it because it was some little thing I did. I didn't get paid for it. I went out of my way to do it. In fact, when Chris Swanson came up there to meet me, I mean, he made me look like a rock star on top of it. And then he gave me that nice, and I was happy with that. And I was happy that, I did something in memory of my son. And I did it for and when I say my son, it's also for my daughters. And it's not just for my son and my daughters. It's for anybody out there that finds it. Because I'd rather save kids than animals than adults, because, we've made our choices. But sometimes there's things beyond our control. That's why I do help out adults. And even me talking to Donna, or, you know, a couple other people. Like Donna actually could sit there and say, well, Chris, you did this, you did this. She'll actually build me up. And I said that a long time ago, 6 months before we even did this. I said, you know, and I didn't ask her, hey, Donna, build me up. You know, come on, tell me some good stuff about me. She doesn't, because I'm always in a bad place sometimes. And having her has made me.
But I mean, I've told you both too.
She has. Oh, yeah. No. And I love the criticism. I shouldn't say I love it, but I mean, I welcome it. And I think that's what a lot of people have a hard time as well. And that's when I sit there and swear, that reality might scare and shock some people away. But, you know, if they go to sleep tonight going, man, he's an ass or whatever, but then they go, you know what?
Yeah, but you were being real to what
Real.
Feelings were at that moment in time.
And that's all I've ever been.
It wasn't scripted. It was raw.
Yep. That's all we are. We're raw and real. And that's what we're going to do. But at the same time, if we help you get through another day, a night, a week, you know, you're going to, you know, I've seen some of you guys do some shows out there and, you know, you maybe felt awkward doing them or whatever like that. But you know what? It's going to come back to you. Like Donna, I didn't think you were going to be my co-host 8 years ago. And it was the greatest mistake I ever made, you know, in this thing. No, you don't, not a mistake, but but I wasn't anticipating you to do it. And I was like, the
greatest coincidence.
For better lack of word, fill it up. All right. And so that's what we're trying to do.
We're doing like shows and stuff like that. You can't really, you just got to do it. Even if it's horrible, like your first one or whatever you're doing, just do it.
Yeah. And if some of you guys out there are like, whatever, because I mean, we can't be spot on funny or always good, but you know what? I mean, the only thing I could act, you know, if I ever come off like, because sometimes she goes, oh, you're not, you know, like I don't try to come off like I'm the best person, even if I say something wrong, but I'll be honest with you. It's like the only thing I can feel, and I said this to her earlier, the only thing I could honestly say that and I don't know how I've done it, to be honest with you. And I've not always been good at it, but the only thing is that even at my worst day, and today's a bad day. It's a bad day. Even though I had a great victory yesterday, it's a bad day. In fact, it's a double whammy for me. Double. And if you want to throw all the stuff you've seen in the news, that's even worse. But I've never not given on my worst freaking day, even with the technology that's gone bad or the screens went out, I've never not given my best. And that's all it is. And so if somebody can say, God, I don't like him, I don't like what he said or did, I know that the one thing that I will infect you with better than this COVID thing is that if I can do it, then you certainly can do it, because there's no special gifts I have. There's no special powers. I'm not bulletproof. I'm not anything. And I don't say that like when I say I'm nothing, I mean it a lot of ways, but the one thing that's real about it is that, you know, we have this illusion that people, because they have a particular look or they have power or money or mansions or whatever, that they're better than you, or, you know, because you have bad luck, you stub your toe, you drop. So I do it all the time. I'm doing all kinds of stuff. I'm like Charlie Brown in this house half the time, and I'm very coordinated. I got great reflexes, you know, and I say that as, wow, oh, there he goes talking about how great he is. But I go, yeah, but I'm like, but I just bang my toe or the dish or the thing flow, or I drop, you know, like 17 things have gone wrong as I'm trying to get out of the damn house. It's like, what the hell? So, you know, if I'm doing that, and then I come doing the show, like her and I went back and forth even to 10 o'clock. We don't usually go that late into a discussion, deciding if we're going to go on. That's why we came on a little bit later today. We could have came on at 10 o'clock.
Yeah, we're like, should we go on?
Should we go on? No, they're going to watch us. They're not going to do it.
After 10.
Oh, yeah, you know, I mean, everyone's going to hate, you know, and I didn't feel, actually the last two shows, you know, because I was like
feeling it the last two, especially because all this was new, what was going on. Now it's had a chance to sink in. And I think for me, I mean, because I don't watch the news, but I've been glued to this. And for me, I think I was shocked, and then I was scared, and now I'm about all this. I'm kind of numb. Like
and we're not the newscaster. You ever see a newscaster when they just totally lose it or break down, and it rarely happens? I mean,
I'm
we
scared
could do that.
People. I'm just scared.
Yeah, and you know what that I mean, yeah, like we're not, because there are, let me tell you a little secret about some of these newscasters. They're like, the whole family, were shipwrecked and they got washed away, and it's been a really tragic story, and it's been on, and then they go, but in other news, hey, look at this nice koala bear born to the San Diego Zoo. It's like, and you think, are they schizophrenic? No, they're trained to contain their emotions, and we're not trying to do that.
And
I'm not going to try to do it.
I've got
Oh no, this your cat. Oh, that's bad luck if she don't bring a black. Wait, does that make sense? Well, it's bad luck if we don't bring a black cat on the show. Is that Ziggy?
Yes.
Ziggy Stardust. I like cats.
If only he could sing the song Ziggy Stardust.
Oh man, should I play it? Let me see. But anyway, what was I going to say? Because we're in overtime. I wanted to be off at midnight because I wanted to watch Rambo, the last one. I've been trying to watch the last one for like 2 years now.
I don't think I've ever seen. I've seen this. I think since the first Rambo. The first Rambo is what I've seen. That's it.
Yeah.
Do you remember that one movie, The Running? Was it The Running Man? With Arnold Schwarzenegger?
Oh yeah. I saw that. Yeah, wasn't Richard Dawson from the very first Family Feud guy in it? I think.
Yeah, it was because it was like a game show.
Yeah. That's right. It was. Yeah, that was Richard Dawson, and then I think he died right after that. I want to say this real quick because we always do this real quick, and we're going to end pretty soon. First off, we're not motivational speakers. We're not any of that, but we do try. I mean, even if we were the last people on the boat, I think we want people to be better as humans and Americans and all that. And I know that I can honestly attest that there's a lot of people every single day that have heard us or my story or whatever, and they didn't have to go download it on Amazon or Udemy or any of those things, or watch it on YouTube, which we are now on YouTube, by the way. And unless they block us for playing that very first song, which I didn't play too many of. But anyway, and I said we're not going to play music on YouTube. In fact, if we go do the music thing, maybe we should go without YouTube tomorrow if we do music. So we won't do it on YouTube if we do the music portion of it until we get some other things established. I'm just being kind of lazy. But anyway, so, I know that a lot of people tell me they've done things to improve their life or their relationships or things that they weren't capable of doing. And even if it lasts a day, a week, a month, or whatever, because there's no certainties for anything except death and taxes, right? At least that's okay, because that's the greatest compliment to my son and my kids and even me. And the same thing with Donna. I mean, I'm going to give her as much credit as I get, if not more, because, and that goes for all of you that, actually participate or sit back and watch, because, that we can't give ourselves. Even the news isn't going, okay, everybody, they might say, hey, see you tomorrow. Have a great day. We don't mean just have a great day. We mean do something with that day. Wake up,
I need to take that advice a little bit better.
Well, and sometimes we got it. And you know what? If I say it, sometimes I'm saying, because I can't see what's on the other side of this camera. You follow? So I'm taking my own advice half the time. That's what gets me down here in the basement. Not because I love the basement. It's because this is where it's set up. And it probably would look and sound better if I was upstairs, because this is actually transmitting Wi-Fi upstairs, without a cable. Just to give you a mild point.
You know what? Then I look at it as maybe me doing what I want is like my vacation, because I mean, technically I haven't had a real vacation in.
So you put some scenes behind you? Look at green screen.
Maybe 6-7 years since I've had a real vacation.
Tomorrow, that's the topic. We're going to go. Well, you know what? Somebody remind me tomorrow. I know 2 or 3 of you will. We should talk about our favorite vacation spots.
Yeah.
Because you never know.
Or places we'd like to go to that we haven't.
There's a lot of things we can talk about. Those are positive, easy things. Talk about restaurants that you used to go to that aren't around. I've seen that question asked. What else? But also when you do that, also think of a new idea how to rescue these places, the ones that just went out of business, or new ideas. Because look at the governor was hell bent on keeping us down. And I mean, even though everything isn't open and people are, why can't I get a haircut, but I can go into a pool, or, okay, well, you know what? She's getting a bunch of people giving her mixed signals, and I'm not sticking up for her or putting her down. But what I'm saying is, she's just a human being. You're just a human being, and unfortunately she's got more power than us. But let's come up with some ideas and some strategies, because as you can see, I do know a lot of people. Donna knows a lot of people, and maybe some of you know a lot of people. So you know what? Voices can be heard. The power of the internet, and we could loop the message, just like when I shared his message. I know that I gave him a lot of traction today. I know he did. I can't even tell you, probably thousands of people because of my post saw it. That helped culminate. Listen, more is always more. So if you have a message or you have an idea, and at the same time can get out of your funk a little bit, have a little fun, participate. You can even click on something and just give us a little hint, like Vincent did with the hypothetical. Yeah, let's go for that. If you guys have any other ideas, look at what you say. The forest fires up north, the riots. Yeah, we've been everything. So
floods, yeah.
So yeah, the floods. So, yeah, I mean, who knows what's going to happen next? But I'm not going out of here without a fight. If yesterday, somebody hit me in the head with a garbage truck, I'll be honest with you. And I know you guys probably think, well, it's because you're, but just like with the fire department and just like before, and this may not help everybody. In fact, it probably won't help a lot of people, but I'm not going to leave here thinking, well, I got 38 more years left on the planet. My uncle, I found a video of him 3-4 years ago. I was at his place. He's talking to me, walking me. We were eating stuff. It's on Facebook. I almost shared it, but my cousin just rescued him a couple of days ago from a fire. And the guy, my other cousin and my cousin-in-law, they went to go assess it and try to fix it. They were talking about it yesterday. And today he died. And he just retired, nice house, loves his kids. He's a great guy. I mean, he had a whole retirement plan. He's got a place in Clearwater with my cousin. Beautiful, beautiful cousin, just and inside and out. And so, it isn't going to just be the possibility of getting a virus. It isn't going to be the possibility of, getting struck by lightning or at a riot or whatever you want to call it, even a parade. It's what you do with what you have now. And that's the only one thing I'm convinced more than anything in my miserable mindset sometimes is that, you know what? I still drank my coffee today. I still made my smoothie. I still talked to several of my friends today. My friend Keith came over. Good conversation. My friend Aaron from Melting Pot, he came over. Great conversation. I had people contact me. Great conversation. I wasn't expecting it. And a lot of things went wrong. A lot of things I didn't get done. I almost didn't do this show, and look at, we're still at 7 people, 2 hours and 52 minutes in. So I thank you for that. I hope you thank yourself for that. I thank my beautiful co-host, Donna. I love her. Look at her, man. She's just amazing, isn't she? You are. And that's what this is about. And you know what? I don't think I could handle 7,000 people right now or 700. I think this is good because we're on, that's a nice party to me. And I know a lot of other people will see it. And, you wouldn't believe how many people will tell me every single day, man, what you're doing is you're doing cool. And I'm like, I don't know what the hell I'm doing. Like last night, I wasn't a hero. I wasn't anything. I went to go support a buddy of mine. I wanted to see what he was going to do. And I was 5 feet from him, 6 feet from him, and the only time I touched him was when I put my hand on his shoulder, and he knew it. And that's what we do. We have each other's back, I think. Am I wrong? So that's all I got. Anything else you want to add, sweetheart?
No, I think you said everything.
All right. Well, we're going to talk about this. We might talk about this thing going on all over the country. But you know what? You guys, you all have power. You all have it to make your life better or make somebody else's life. There's not one human being out there that doesn't. So when I'm yelling at you for saying something negative on Facebook or wherever, watch if you say something nice to somebody, even when you're pissed off, and watch what happens. Magic happens. Like he took off his riot gear. He could have said, "You guys are all going to jail." He said, "Let's walk. Let's walk." So we're going to walk. We're going to walk our talk. And that's all we got. Monday night, June 1st, 2020.
Tina,
you know what? This year's not going to kick my ass.
for their time watching us.
Yep. So I love you guys. Times 10, nothing's changed.
How did you think people are going to?
How do you think people are going to act with the cops that help out at the clubs now? We got to jump on that. We got to change the perception. It's called damage control, or whatever you guys want to add to that. You got to change that perception because we need cops. There's a lot of cops, there's a lot of cops, that suck. There's a lot of cops we need.
Okay, so I think it was the first night of the protests in Detroit. For the most part, Detroit has not been crazy at all. It's been crazy, but not too crazy.
Well, even James Craig was on today, the chief police.
So the thing is, I'm seeing is I'm hoping we'll be fine because, I think there was a couple incidents that had happened, and I actually saw the cops taking police reports and stuff like that. So the people are still going to the cops, but they're protesting what I don't know how to say it. They're still going to the cops because a couple issues.
Oh, because they needed help.
Who else are they gonna call?
Right. Ghostbusters
realize that there's no one else, but and the cops didn't say, "Oh, well, screw you. You guys are protesting. I'm not helping you guys." They did.
So how do we make it better? Everything is fixable. Everything is fixable. It's just fixable. The only thing that roadblocks any idea is opinion and emotion formed together. It could be traditional. It could be upbringing. It could be you're being so stubborn. And when you combine it with more than one person, then it becomes that mentality. It becomes a group. And that's why we never get anything solved. We go, well, why don't we put these things together and see if they work? Let's see if you're right and I'm wrong, or vice versa. And when that happens, then there's a change, because we can't live like this. People are scared, and then there's people that are angry, and there's people that are filled with hate. Now pick one of those flavors. Which one do you want? All of them? Or do you pick out the pink one? That's what you got to do. You got to figure out the answers. People, look at it, they're talking, "Hey, Chris, we want you to be not me, Swanson, the president, the mayor, the governor, everything." That's what they do. When somebody says the right things, Fauci, when he was saying the right things, they wanted him to be that. Cuomo, when he was doing it. When Trump, he does it. The minute they go off the beaten path and start to alter lives that don't necessarily become convenient or productive or whatever, then all of a sudden, oops, you know what I mean? It's that candy that with that center, and there's an almond in the middle of it. You know what I mean? Or is that an olive? It's like you want to make sure that you're all the way down to the core, that this thing, can possibly work. And then you bring in your enemies, you bring in your adversaries, and you say, look, the problem, we're not asking people from the other countries how to help us fix this.
Yeah.
You don't go, well, we're going to call Japan and the Soviet Union and, Saudi Arabia and India. Yeah, with calling Canada and Australia. Maybe somebody from the southern part of South Africa. We're not calling anybody. We're relying on our government. We're relying on our politicians. And that ain't getting nothing done. It's not. If it was, there wouldn't be a riot. There wouldn't be anybody in any streets right now. There wouldn't. And we're going to keep doing this and doing this and doing this and doing this until more people get hurt. And it's stupid. I saw magic happen yesterday. If I was in my backyard and you saw it happen, oh, Chris, it was in your backyard. No. That's why they're putting him on TV. You know why they're putting him on TV? None of those other guys are getting on TV except the ones that are copying him. Right? And you know what? Like Houston, they had that guy, the chief of police, and he got all into it and everything. And let me tell you something. I can tell you that we're in overtime, but you know, the last component of this thing is, I just thought of this, and you're going to agree with me because I saw it, is that, you know, I was expecting all, you know, the crowd to like, you know, kind of like size him up or challenge him on anything instantly. And that's not because he's just, they're like, wow, our enemy that we've been conditioned to fear and hate, or whatever else you want to add, is honestly giving us an opportunity to be our friend. Just like when somebody walks up to, you know, you or Brian, and they get to know the owner, all of a sudden they become more of a better customer, right? If they know somebody at the top level, they love that. If they know, if you know what I mean, they don't go to the regular they go to the top level. You always want, it's connections. And do you understand what I'm saying? It's like, wow, here's this really larger than life guy saying, I don't want to fight with you. Here, I put my gun down. I put everything. I'm not, you know, you could hurt me if you wanted. And my guys over there, they want to be part of this too. And I'm going to tell you something. My skin is, I got goosebumps. I never get goosebumps. I got goosebumps just now. And I'm going to tell you something right now. I swear on anything. I mean, because I had my mask on when we were walking, and I'm going to tell you something. I almost, you know, I mean, it's not because, I mean, maybe because I'm, you know, everything's going on in my life that I do it. Because I'm not a public crier. I've never have been until, you know, but the thing that I got from everybody instantly, universally, from all these mindsets, and these were people that probably don't have much at home, maybe not have a lot of heat, or their parents, they don't even know. I mean, you know what I'm saying? These are people that came there to really let go. I mean, when they had F the police, it wasn't like, hey, you know what I mean? They were shoving them right in the faces of these cops, and these cops are just sitting there. No riot gear on, nothing. He said, I don't want any of that. And they're like, we're putting our, look at every other city. What do they have on? They're sitting there in military formations, marching. Now they got people like, you know, ready. And he laid down his sword. Remember I said that? I had a lot of reasons. And I'm a big guy. I laid down my sword, and guess what? It changed everything in my life. It didn't make my life better. In fact, it was the worst thing that ever happened to me to this day. But I laid down my sword. I could have said, you know what? F you, and I'm killing you. And I'm, you know, I'm being real. I mean, because I was in that mindset. But you know what? I didn't. And I saw him do it. And we didn't have a discussion about it. And they were all, let me repeat myself. They were so, and you may not believe this, but magic happens, kids. They all, hundreds of people, it was like a Messiah coming. When they saw him coming, it was like they couldn't wait for him to show up. And the other guys, they were hugging each other and crying. You see that when they were doing it in another city, they were like, they want that. They may not have good parents at home or a father figure, and even if they do, they're like, wow, that person that I was afraid of and scared of is now telling me he wants to walk with me, and he doesn't want this. And they know, they're well aware of what's going on in the world. They're well aware of it. You don't even have to know how to read and write to know what's going on in the world. They don't need the internet. They don't have to know what's going on in Minneapolis or California. They're born with that. So when this blonde guy with, you know, comes out like Roy Rogers, he looks at them and says, come on. I guarantee you that guy, they want his autograph. They want to know him. And he's the guy that he'll throw parties for them. He will do it. He's got an entertainment company.
The important part is he's helping with the message they're trying to get across.
It's unreal. And I said, you ever need me, brother? I'm there. I said that to him yesterday morning. He says, you need me? He goes, come on up. He goes, 7:00, be here. And he texts me the address. I'm like, okay. You know, it was like, I wasn't like, I could have said, oh man, I was just kidding. You know what I'm saying? You ever do that? They go, hey, you want me to help? I go, yeah. You know, it's like my buddy asked me, like my other buddy, and I said, you need help opening your restaurant? Because, you know, he's got, you know, and he goes, I thought he was going to say, no. And I goes, yeah, I do. I'll be there tomorrow. I'm like, okay. You know, that's what you do. That's what you do. You take a little bit of time, a little bit of effort, a little bit of energy, and you do the best you can with it. And that's how you get through this life. It doesn't owe you tomorrow. It doesn't owe you happiness. It doesn't owe you anything. No man owes you happiness. No woman owes you happiness. You owe yourself happiness. And letting go or getting through doesn't mean I got pain more. I'm the pain machine. But we did this show tonight, didn't we? For 3 hours and 4 minutes.
Yeah. And we're like, we'll just get off at 12.
Well, there's, at least 7 people on. So you know what? Thanks for hanging out. And if you fell asleep, but you know what? That's what you do. That's what you do. And if you fall and you fail, get back up, because there's no turning back. There's no turning back. There's
This
no
is
turning
not
back.
called the Not So Late Show. It's the Very Long Show.
We should start charging. We should. Like $10 an hour. It's cheaper than therapy. Damn, girl. I'm telling you, I know. I got friends that do this. They have fun. All right. Let's let these guys go to bed. It's 1:30, and you know what? I think this is the last week. I think some businesses are opening back up. Right? So good night, sweetheart. It's going to go. What?
It's the second.
The
Time
second?
Isn't it the second?
Oh, it is now. Yeah. So
Time's
right.
flying.
I know. Let's go. We're down to 4 people.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Good night.
Good night.